And to qualify for the first-time buyers program, all you have to have is a valid driver's license, full-time employment, and 1-year permanent residence. No previous credit history is needed. And if you qualify, there's no down payment. Come check out the 89 Nissans and the first-time buyers program at Murray's Nissan Daihatsu, 841 North Main in Muskogee.
With a new name comes a new commitment to Muskogee. The new name is Owens Brockway Glass, and they're excited about their future in Muskogee. They've served the Muskogee area for over 40 years, and now more than ever, they urge you to buy glass whenever possible. They're also renewing their efforts on glass recycling. You know about can recycling, but glass can also be recycled. Just bring it to the swap building at 514 Fond du Lac and make some money while helping clean up the landscape. Your hardworking friends and neighbors at Owens Brockway Glass remind you to buy glass as they continue to serve the Muskogee area.
Sooner basketball is on the air. The ONN Sooner Basketball Network proudly presents University of Oklahoma basketball. This broadcast of the Big 8 champion Sooners is brought to you in part by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. By Texaco. Up ahead is Texaco, the star of the American road. By Unaroyal and your independent Unaroyal dealer. By Post Grape Nuts and Post Raisin Bran. By Bud Light, the first name in light beers. Ask for Bud Light. By OC Meats. By Heartland Federal Savings and Loan. And by State Farm Insurance and the State Farm agents who bring you Sooner basketball. Now, with your midcourt seat to call all the action, here's the official voice of the Oklahoma Sooners, John Brooks.
Hi again, everybody. They just plugged the electricity in at Lloyd Noble Center. It is sold out, standing room only. Tickets sold at 4 o'clock this afternoon. We'll have people around the upper balcony area standing and peering down on the floor here at Lloyd Noble. I'm John Brooks along with David Garrett with the thrill of bringing you a battle between two of the nation's top 5 collegiate basketball teams. A game that last year scored the highest television rating for the season by ESPN when Oklahoma lost in overtime at Missouri, 93-90. These same two teams, Missouri ranked number 3, Oklahoma ranked number 5, to meet here on the floor at Lloyd Noble Center, and the Tigers will be without their head coach, the dean of Big 8 coaches, Norm Stewart, who is in Hillcrest Hospital in Oklahoma City, suffering from fatigue and a possible ulcer. He is in stable condition. He became ill on the plane ride down today for the Tigers and will be watching and listening to this one from his hospital bed in Oklahoma City. Will it make a difference? I was asked that by the Missouri broadcaster in an interview a little while ago. I said I don't think it will make a bit of difference, David. This Missouri team, from the periphery at least, has been one that looks like they've got their chemistry together. They don't need any extra motivation.
They've had outstanding athletes for a long time. Getting them to play together was one of Norm Stewart's problems last year with the play of Derek Chivas, sitting him down sometimes, getting him back up. It seems as though they've overcome that and are playing well together. This may be, for all intents and purposes, the biggest game to date for Oklahoma because of the Big 8 standings. Oklahoma needs a win here to at least tie Missouri for at the lead and then maybe play Missouri later on for the Big 8 championship. So this game has those implications. Whether or not the suspension of Bob Sunvold, Norm Stewart being out of this ball game, and not having that Norm Stewart storming attitude over on the bench to fire this team up, I don't know what effect it's going to have on the players, but I think it may have some. So we'll see one way or the other what effect it may have. I do think Oklahoma's favored. If they win, you'll say, well, it didn't have any effect anyway, but we'll find out, of course, here tonight.
Rich Daly will handle the coaching chores. He handles recruiting more than anything, but is an assistant coach on the staff for a half dozen years. Bob Sunvold, who just a moment ago David alluded to, 11-year assistant coach, has been suspended with pay by the University of Missouri because of allegations against him for some improprieties regarding a freshman who was to have been on the Missouri team as a Prop 48 casualty, but they ended up having to go to a junior college. So those are all things on the periphery. The main thing is we got a battle between number 5 and number 3, and after this network timeout, we'll look at the starting lineup for the Tigers, the first team to hit a 20-win plateau this year in the country, and the Sooners, trying to become the second, are at 19-3 right behind them. We'll be back after this 60-second network timeout. Young record on the road. They have won all 5 of their true games away from home. They're 2-3 on neutral courts. They have an 11-game winning streak currently, and they are 15 of their last 16, the only loss being a 3-point decision to Illinois, the Big Ten, on a neutral court in St. Louis. Missouri 20-3, ranked number 3 in the country. They'll start Lee Coward, a 6'1 junior from Detroit, 2-year letterman. At the point guard, he's averaging 12.5 points a game. Byron Irvin having an outstanding year. Former Arkansas transfer, his second year at Missouri, a senior from Chicago, 6'6", averaging 20.6 a game. He's the leading scorer, cousin of Atlanta Hawk pro Doc Rivers. At the pivot, 7'1 senior Gary Leonard, who has improved drastically every year in his career at Missouri, finally is really a factor. He's averaging just under 10, 9.5 points a game, 5.5 rebounds. Doug Smith, outstanding athlete on the front line for the Tigers. Sophomore from Detroit, 6'10", one-year letterman, averaging 14 points, 7 rebounds a game. Last year, a UPI first-team freshman All-America. Mike Sambodi will complete the starting lineup, the typical blue-collar player who has been a factor every time in an Oklahoma-Missouri game. He's had great games against Oklahoma. He's a 6'8", 220-pound senior from Washington, Missouri, averages 6.6 rebounds a game. Against OU in 8 games, he has averaged 5.5 points, 6 rebounds. He's always come up with big plays at crucial times off of the bench. Tonight, he will be starting for the Tigers. The Sooners will go with the lineup now that is back intact for 3 games in a row and was around for a number of earlier starts. Mookie Blaylock averaging 22 points and Terrence Mullins averaging 10 at the guard. Stacey King, the 6'11 senior from Lawton, among the nation's leaders, averaging 26 points, 11 rebounds a game. Tyrone Jones, 13 points, and Tony Martin averaging a fraction of a point under 10 points a game, complete the Oklahoma lineup. Sooners 19-3, going for their 8th consecutive 20-win season, which will be a conference record. Nobody else has ever put 8 in a row together, and they're looking for number 20 tonight.
What's the best conference team to match up with underneath? Oklahoma State, Missouri, Oklahoma, Missouri, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State. The Sooners saw that they were dominating a little on the boards against the Cowboys this past week. I think Mike Bell, Anthony Martin, going to have to come in and play well, fired up with Stacey King for Oklahoma to have a good dominant chance on the boards, because this is a big team and a quick team too. The Sooners need to rebound from what they did against Oklahoma State Saturday and their lack of success on the boards against Missouri tonight to have a chance.
The referee for tonight is Ed Hightower. The officials are Jim Bain and I had the wrong official down just a moment ago.
Rick Wilco.
That's right, Rick Wilco. So they have brought in what you would have to call a pretty veteran officiating crew for this one. And the supervisor of officials in the Big 8, John Erickson, is here to watch it. Sooners in white with red numerals, and the Tigers in yellow or gold with white numerals and black lettering. And we're ready to get this one underway. Sooners will shoot the basket off to our left at the north end. Tigers in the forecourt just in front of us. We're just across center court. Ready to go. And Hightower has it in the air, and the tip in the backcourt goes to Missouri's Lee Coward. He brings it into the forecourt and is guarded by Blaylock on a spin-around dribble. Now loses it, needs some help. Sambodi breaks free, goes to the hoop, gets a left-handed layup as he got loose from Tyrone Jones. Sambodi down the lane on a feed, gives Missouri an early 2-0 lead. Blaylock back to the offensive court. Man-to-man defense early by both teams. Jones around on the wing, and Blaylock back up to Martin, reverses left. Jones in the corner to Mullins. Bounce pass inside, knocked off the knee of Byron Irvin. Again, Irvin has really become a factor for the Tigers, averaging 20.5 points a game. Was in and out of the lineup last year, just didn't have the flow of a good season he has this year. Martin takes a pass from Jones to the inbounds. Back to Mullins. Pulls up. Dumps to Jones. He's free for 3. It won't go. Tipped up and rebounded by Blaylock. Back out front to Martin. Over to Mullins. Had the ball stolen. Now it rolls back to Blaylock. He fields it. He has it taken away by Lee Coward. Turnover Sooners, and back is Coward on a dribble. Pulls up. Shoots out front. It's in from the top of the key left. Lee Coward with a jump shot, and it's an early 4-0 Missouri lead. We have played less than a minute. Blaylock, left side to Jones, in the corner to Martin. He'll shoot long range and airballed it right into the hands of Lee Coward. And the Sooners off to kind of a jittery start here early as Blaylock defends on Coward. Coward brings the ball up court, outside 19-9. On the dribble, looks inside, goes baseline right to Sambodi. Pops it back to Coward. Blaylock stays off a pick. Now Coward underneath to Irvin, leans in, shoots, scores against Mullins. 6-0 Missouri. Irvin 6'6", posting down low against the shorter Terrence Mullins. Blaylock will go left in a double low post inside King. First time to touch it. He's in the paint. Shoots. Shot won't go. And 7-1 Gary Leonard down with the miss. Tigers lead 6-0. We have played a minute and a half. Irvin across the timeline. Mullins defending in. That's a height mismatch there. Irvin back up to Sandbode. Sandbode looking down for the 7-1 Leonard. Now Coward with it. Dumps it inside. Leonard turns, pumps once. No shot. Now turns, jumps, hooks it. It won't go. It's tipped up by Smith. Tipped up again and in. Doug Smith, using his great athletic ability at 6'10", has Missouri up 8-0, and we've played 2 minutes. Blaylock to the right side to Terrence Mullins. Up to Jones around the rim. Blaylock will shoot for 3. It's no good, and the Tigers crash the board, and Smith out with it. Comes to half court. Smith coming down the right side. Now he misdribbles the ball and loses it out of bounds. Tigers, one of the best in the country and a leader in the Big 8, average 8 rebounds a game more than their opponents. They're showing it early.
Oklahoma can't get the ball inside, but they did. Stacey King missed the shot, but I would say the early board crashing is in the favor of Missouri.
Yep, 5-1 in rebounding. Jones with the basketball to Mullins, left side of Blaylock. Looks in for King. Back up to the top. Around the perimeter. Now King pops up as a high post. Looks down low for Martin. Back left side to Jones. Inside to Martin. Back to the basket. He's sandwiched between 2 men. Goes up. We got a foul against Sandbode. First foul of the game. It's whistled by official Jim Bain against the 6'8" senior Mike Sandbode, as Martin got sandwiched by Sandbode and Doug Smith and got enough of a brush off Sandbode to send himself to the line.
I noticed the last time when Jones had the ball on the perimeter, they had decided to give him the shot. Tyrone passed it down, but look for him to take that shot the next time that Missouri does not front him as well as they did that time. He'll go ahead and try to pop it again.
Now, Tyrone has not been shooting well, 45% and 41 from three-point range, but if he's in rhythm and on stroke, he can be something else. Free throw no good by Martin as it spins out. And the Sooners still in a drought. Look for their first points in a battle of number 5, Oklahoma, and number 3, Missouri. And they finally get it as Martin nails the second free throw. 2.5 minutes in. And down court, Sandbode, a long pass. He got behind the defense and gets the layup against King and Mullins. And so the Tigers get one more back on the fast break against the pressure, and they lead 10-1. Right wing side, Jones. Lob in deep to King. Baseline, leans in, goes to the hoop, got the bucket. King took it to the bucket and scored. And it took the Sooners nearly 3 minutes to get their first basket, and a steal by Martin, and then he loosed the ball back. And a football pass down court to Gary Leonard from Sandbode as the Tigers escaped an Oklahoma steal right there and got it back. Right side, Irvin's free for 3, and he buries it. Byron Irvin with a three-point shot. He's 55% from the field for the year. 13-3 Missouri. With the ball up front, biggest lead for the Tigers. Jones around to Blaylock. Bounce pass into King. He turns. Short jumper is up and tipped so good by Martin. Off the miss by King, and Leonard down with a rebound. Oklahoma ice cold early. Trails by 10. Irvin drives into the paint against Mullins, around against King, and from behind Mullins blocked it, and then Leonard picked it up and put it in for 2. And the Sooners are down 15-3. Oklahoma hustles the ball up court. Mullins with the basketball out front, near steal. Jones comes up with it, drives the lane, puts it up and in. Nice move by Tyrone. He saw just a flicker of an opening and took it to the hoop for the layup. Back against pressure, Coward with the ball and not acting like one as he dribbled right up court and took it into the offensive court. 15-5. Blaylock on him. Coward backing into the paint. Turns. He's grabbed, and the shot goes in, and a foul called against Stretch Jones. And everything is going the way right now of the Missouri Tigers as Coward is going to be at the line with a chance for a three-pointer.
Billy Tubbs wanted Mookie Blaylock in his defense that time, which was at least 5 seconds. Although an attempt at the bucket had been made by Coward that time. Billy wanted a 5-second violation call, but again, if Oklahoma cannot get it in and dominate on the inside, rebounding and trying to score from the inside, they're going to have a tough night.
Coward hits the free throw. It is an 18-5 Missouri lead. 4 minutes played. Blaylock across the timeline, off to our left. Man-to-man defense by the Tigers. Mullins a lob over the defense to King. He got free as the ball knocked loose. Gets it back with help. Goes in the paint. Turns. Shoots. It spins out. No good. Rebound by Doug Smith. And Irvin was down court alone for a moment, but he didn't see him for the outlet pass. The ball given to Coward. 13-point lead for Missouri. 15:38 to play. Coward with the basketball. Wiley preparing to come in for Oklahoma. A lob over the defense, and Doug Smith can't handle it, but it's tipped away by Martin, and Billy Tubbs cannot believe it. The ball was off the hands of Doug Smith, and Rick Wilco was standing right there and gave it the other way. And Jim Bain's going to talk it over. He might overrule him. We got a timeout. 15:29 to play. Back in a moment. Missouri leads Oklahoma 18-5. Has been called on the Oklahoma bench. Rick Wilco standing right there. And I mean, there isn't anybody in America that didn't see the ball go off Doug Smith's hands except the guy who made the call, Rick Wilco. And it's just that simple. No other way to put it. I mean, Wilco's a veteran official, but my goodness, that's the worst call of the year. And the Sooner bench is technical, and now Missouri's going to get a chance to shoot 2 free throws and then get the ball out of bounds. And Billy Tubbs is yelling, pointing his finger at Ed Hightower. He is livid, as is everybody else, and rightfully so.
Well, what makes it worse, and it's a little more frustrating because of Missouri's run so far and Oklahoma's inability to get the ball inside and do anything with it at this point. And then you need a call like that and don't get it, and that just snowballs into something, and then Billy would not let up on Wilco and got the tee.
Irvin rolls in the first free throw, and the second of the 2 technicals is short. Sooners have hit only 2 of 9 shots, and Missouri has had 8 of their first 11 for 73%. And an 8-2 rebounding edge to the Tigers, who lead 19-5. They have the ball inbounds just in front of us, and Coward with the basketball, and checked by Blaylock. Looking for a 5-second call. They don't get it. The ball goes to Doug Smith. Down low, Jones steps in front and bats the ball away. A pass intended for Mike Sanbodi. Sooners have 2 field goals, 1 from King and 1 from Jones, in the first 4.5 minutes. Down low, inbounds to Smith. He shoots off the glass and scores on a turnaround, and Missouri is up 21-5. 15-12. It is a shocker here early at Lloyd Noble. Blaylock to the right side to Mullins. He's going to turn and shoot for 3. He got it. That's what the Sooners needed. Something. And maybe it'll be Mullins. He's had to do it against Nebraska. And in one other league game, to help the Sooners out, Sanboni barely beats the count on the inbounds, and then the ball's stolen by Blaylock. He flips it back out to Wiley. We got a traveling call against Blaylock. And I tell you what, the officiating is going any but Oklahoma's way so far. It has been terrible.
That was the right call. Blaylock came down, ran into Wiley, shuffled his feet off balance. The ball came loose, and traveling was called. Now the officials are going to go to the scorer's table and ask the PA announcer to request that things not be thrown out of the stands, and rightly so.
Only warning that the Sooners will get any more debris thrown on the floor will result in an automatic and immediate technical foul. Let's go to the foul.
Mike Treff, the public address announcer, just announced that any more debris thrown on the floor will be an automatic technical foul against Oklahoma. Ed Hightower went over, discussed it. He's over now talking with Billy Tubbs. And Tubbs is saying, all right, he'll go up and say something to the crowd, too. So now we'll turn the pot up.
4 games. 4 games this year that a coach.
The referee's request is that regardless of how terrible the officiating, do not
Oh, boy. Billy Tubbs just announced that the referee requested, no matter how terrible the officiating was, not to throw anything on the floor, and Tubbs got another technical. And I'm going to tell you, there was no reason for that. The crowd liked it, but Billy bought that hook himself right there. He bought it himself, and Irvin just hit both free throws.
And that's 2 on Tubbs. One more, and we'll have no head coaches.
One more, and he is gone. That's right. The Tigers without head coach Norm Stewart. 23-8, Missouri. Now they get the basketball, and it's inbounded to Coward. Coward with the basketball on the near boundary. Guarded by Blaylock. Sooners down by 15. Coward to the free throw line. Shot up, no good. He got his own rebound. He brings it back up to the top. Blaylock stays with him, knocks the ball away. It goes to Irvin, who recovers for the Tigers. Irvin with the ball, about to get a 5-second call, or is there one? We get a jump ball called, finally.
Well, I'll tell you what, Terrence Mullins is playing a great ball game.
He is playing well. And a possession change gives the ball to Oklahoma. 23-8 Missouri. 14 and a half to play. Crowd fired up. Sooners look very confident. They act as if they got no problems coming back. If you look in their eyes right now, here's King, right of the lane. Bounce pass underneath the Blaylock. Backdoor layup. Rolls out, no good. Jones with a rebound. Goes to the hoop and puts it in. Tyrone Jones off an offensive board. Full court pressure Sooners. The ball to Doug Smith across the timeline to Gary Leonard. And back to Byron Irvin. 23-10, 13-point Missouri lead. Right side, Samboni. Inside to Doug Smith. Back to the basket. Turns, shoots, scores. Baseline right, Doug Smith, 47% field goal shooter. And Coward is called for a foul in the backcourt, shoving against Blaylock. Lee Coward gets the second Missouri foul. Amazingly, there's only been 3 fouls on the floor call. There's already been 2 technicals and a possibility at more. 25-10 Missouri.
And Norm's not even here.
That's right. Norman isn't in the building. Blaylock into the paint, and he is grabbed by Coward on the drive. And Lee Coward, the 6'1 Detroit junior, picks up his second. Coward last year in 3 games against the Sooners had 20 points the first meeting in Norman, 7 in Columbia, and 8 in Kansas City in the postseason tournament. Anthony Peeler, the highly talented Missouri freshman out of Kansas City, Missouri, 6'4", checks in. He's averaging 10 points a game off the bench, one of the leading candidates with Byron Houston for newcomer of the year, although I think Houston will probably win it. 25-10. Jones down low on the inbounds to Wiley. He turns, fall away is up. It won't go. Doug Smith with the rebound. Sooners ice cold here in the early going. And Oklahoma only 4 of 13. As the ball is brought in the forecourt by Irvin, he gives to Peeler, who just checked in, guarded by Blaylock. And Peeler throws the ball away, expected Sambodi to come back out to the top. He did not. It's the 4th turnover for Missouri. 13:22 to play in the game. Terrence Mullins will inbound the basketball. Missouri leads Oklahoma 25-10 as Blaylock walks it up and starts the offense. The first half. What did I say, in the ball game? Yeah, in the first half. Thank you. Inside, King goes to the hoop and scores. And there's going to be a foul against Gary Leonard as King got inside. King's out the half court, slamming his fist in the air, trying to get the crowd pumped up a little more. And he's going to go to the line with a chance at the three-point play. Hey, Storm and Norman, if you're listening, been some great battles over the years. And you are controversial, as is Billy Tubbs, but we wish you the very best. If you've got your TV on and the radio on both, we want you to know that we wish you the very best. John Brooks, David Garrett, Terry McLemore, and studio producer Chuck Duett. Hope you're back coaching for Missouri by the next game for the Tigers. King at the line as the free throw up and in. He completes a three-point play. 25-13 with 13-13 to play. With the basketball in the backcourt is Doug Smith. He's bringing it up against Stacey King, the 2 big guys, and Smith down the right side, goes to the baseline. Now jump passes it in to Greg Church, and we got a foul, and it's going to be against Jones. And the foul may have occurred before Church put the ball up. Greg Church has just checked into the lineup. And he was the guy that came in for Gary Leonard. Church, the 6'8 senior out of Palmyra. No basket. The foul came before the shot. Smith with the ball on the inbound. Fakes one way, turns the other, shoots and scores against Wiley. And Doug Smith has 8 quick points for the Tigers. 27-13. 12:50 to play, first half. And Oklahoma burying themselves early with problems trying to get back. Mullins is going to try for 3. Halfway down, it pops out. King with the board. He goes up. Shot won't go. Wiley puts it back up and in. Wiley got the offensive board off King Smith and got the bucket. Anthony Peeler in the backcourt against Mookie Blaylock. Bringing it up as the Sooners stay man-to-man with full court pressure, and Peeler goes left side, and Doug Smith wants to shoot out at the three-point range. Misses the shot, and the ball off Irvin's hands out of bounds. So the Sooners could get it down to 10 or 9 this trip up. Blaylock brings it between the circles, bounces it on the wing to Terrence Mullins. Down low to King, fakes one way, goes underneath against Church. We got a foul. It's going to be against Greg Church. And the question is, was King, he was fouled before he started to put the ball in the air with a shot attempt. For the Tigers, it is their 5th team foul. Sooners have 2. And they also have 2 on the bench, 2 technicals. Worth 3 free throws out of 4 attempts. Jones on the inbound, inside to King. Drives, pulls up, short jumper up and in. Running jump hook for Stacey King. Looks to me like Stacey can get some points down underneath. Irvin with a long pass against the pressure. Dumps it off to Church. He overshoots it. Ball up in the air. King comes down with a rebound, averaging 11 a game. Sooners can go under a double-digit deficit. They trail by 10. Blaylock, right side to Mullins. Back up to King. Top of the key. Drives, goes out, draws a foul.
Well, we're having a great game with the 2 centers. Smith shooting like King was at Nevada, Las Vegas. He's not missing. And, of course, Stacey's come alive in the last couple of minutes.
And it was Doug Smith who drew the foul out near the free throw line as King tried to drive and go up in the air to shoot. Smith is 4 of 6 from the field early. King is 3 of 7. And Stacy has 2 free throws coming right here with 11:47 to play. Last year, the Sooners won twice and lost once. They both won on their home court, and the Sooners won in Kansas City, 102-99 in the postseason tournament. King hits the free throw to bring the deficit under 10 at 27-18. The widest lead for the Tigers as King misses the second free throw. Biggest lead was 15 for Missouri twice. Sambode bringing the ball up after the Tiger rebound. Pass in front of us to Greg Church, to Peeler down the lane, and Blaylock knocked the ball away, got his 100th steal of the year. Down court, he's got a pass and a dunk on a fast break from Stretch Jones. And Blaylock with the steal brings Oklahoma within 7, 27-20. Irvin, sandwiched by Mullins and Jones, goes to the corner, shoots. He airballed it, and we got a charge against Irvin as Byron Irvin gets called for pushing off, and the Tigers want a timeout. Or no, they don't have to take it. It's an official timeout. Official timeout, 11:21 to play. First half, Missouri 27, Oklahoma 20.
This time of year, car dealers make all kinds of great offers on new cars. And your Muskogee Federal Credit Union can make it even better with a new car loan. The credit union can finance your new 88 or 89 car at 10.25%. A great low rate if you've looked around at all. And they'll finance up to 100% of the cost if you like. That means no cash out of your pocket. Now there's an even better reason to go out and look over all those new car deals with the Federal Credit Union's 10.25% total financing offer from your Muskogee Federal Credit Union, 1910 West Shawnee, member NCUA.
The Muskogee office of the Eastern Private Industry Council is offering specialized training for those interested in learning basic computer skills or those seeking secretarial training, quality job training at no cost. For more information on the basic computer and secretarial job training offered, call Eastern Private Industry Council in Muskogee at 683-8553. Start training now for a better paying job in the future.
Reeled off 7 points since Missouri has scored in that short amount of time to get back within 7.
7 points in 90 seconds. The Sooners trail by 7. More after a network timeout.
Mr. Bimbleman.
Yes, Fenway?
Go up to the microphone, sir. They're waiting for your speech.
Okay. I want to publicly thank the following people for remaining loyal to Bimbleman's Light Beer. First, Bob Scarpelli.
He switched to Bud Light.
Oh, Alex Kaninski.
He switched to Bud Light.
Do we have an Edward Larson?
He still drinks your beer.
You're kidding?
Yeah, I am kidding. He switched to Bud Light, too.
When it comes to smooth taste, one light outshines them all. Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Time back in. Missouri 27, Oklahoma 20. 11:20 to play. Blaylock brings the ball up. Missouri goes into a zone for the first time. It's a 3-2 zone with Sambode working in the middle out front with Irvin and Coward who's back in. Jones to Wiley, top of the key. Left side. Blaylock is free for 3. Got it! 5 points for Blaylock, and the ball thrown away at half court right in front of us. Out of the hands of Sambode. Sooners within 4, and they can get closer.
It's a 10-point run. They can make it 12 or 13 on this offensive possession.
Sooners are 9 of 20 from the field. Missouri 11 of 17. Blaylock to the right side against the zone to Wiley. Top of the key. He's going to shoot out front. It's off to the left. No good. Up high for the rebound is Doug Smith. Outlet to Coward. Here's Coward on the dribble. Heading up court. Drives against Wiley. Leans in. Off the glass. Got the bucket. Nice driving layup that time. And Coward with 2 points. And Jim Bain saying something to Tubbs and Tubbs to Bain, and Bain came over and told the Oklahoma players that they had to get back, that they were standing out on the edge of the floor.
Picking on them now. Everyone does that all over America.
10:40 to play, 6-point Missouri lead. Blaylock to the right side, hooks to the corner, now to Wiley. Around the rim, over to Tyrone Jones. In a corner, Mullins free. Left baseline, shot up and in. 17-footer, Terrence Mullins. He's got 5 points. Back to a 4-point lead against the pressure. Leonard with a pass down court to Coward. Takes it underneath against King. In trouble. Dishes it off. Lost it to Blaylock. Blaylock heading up. 3-on-1. Scoops to Wiley. And he missed the layup. Jiminy Christmas, the creator, passed up a slam and missed the layup. And back come the Tigers. Lee Coward will shoot. He's short of the basket on on an air ball shot. Mullins half court to Tyrone Jones. TJ hands the ball off to Blaylock. 10 minutes to play first half. Jones for three. Won't go off the heel. King in the lane for the rebound. To the left. Down low to Wiley. Fakes, leans in, draws a foul. And it's going to be against the big guy, Doug Smith. And that's the second against the Tiger Center. Sooners went into the 1-1 with 11:21 to play. But this is going to be a two-shot situation for Andre Wiley, who has shot the same from the free throw line as he had from the field with that blistering 61.5% outside.
Oklahoma's played their pants off since the 14-12 mark when they've scored the last 17 to Missouri's 6 in that run.
Wiley misses the free throw, and now he'll try the second one, and that one is good. 3 points for Wiley. 29-26, closest the Sooners have been since they were way down. Up court with the basketball comes Coward. Left side to Smith. Smith dumps it down into Leonard. He jump hooks it over King, and it goes off the rim and is tipped in by Leonard. Leonard gets up high to tip it back over King. Lead back up to 5. Blaylock will bounce it right side, and the ball is knocked out of bounds in front of the Missouri bench and interim coach Rich Daly, substituting for the ill Norm Stewart, who's listening and watching at Hillcrest Hospital in Oklahoma City. King will get a pass down low from Jones on 2 passes into the lane. He puts it up. It's off the front of the rim. No good. And the ball rolls off of Oklahoma's Terrence Mullins and out of bounds. Sooners at the free throw line are 4 of 7. Missouri 4 of 5. Early going. Sanbodi having trouble. Lobs it in. Gets it in to Smith. A collision and a foul against Stacey King. King in a collision with Doug Smith. And Smith still down on the floor. And waiting to, well, he hadn't gotten up yet. And say he's pointing to his left knee. Smith missed a couple of games earlier for the Tigers. Missed a couple of games with a sprained left ankle. And he's lumbering around at center court and trying to walk off whatever is wrong. Billy is saying to Jim Bain, you know, why don't you have him get a timeout? I tell you what, it's going to be like this all day, all evening. Sanbodi in the backcourt to Coward. As play resumes, Missouri with a 5-point lead. Coward working up court against Mullins on a weaving dribble. Into the forecourt in front of us between the circles. Looking right. Mullins reaches around and is called for a foul as he tried to tap the ball away. Sooners now have 14 fouls. They picked up 2 here in less than 30 seconds. And Sanbodi will handle the inbounds pass. Tyrone Jones fronting him as the ball right in front of us comes in to Lee Coward. Coward working against Blaylock. Blaylock now, Coward lobs it down low to Smith. Back to the basket, turns, shoots against Wiley. Shots too far. Opposite side, King with an outlet. Football pass to Blaylock. All the way down, throws up a wild shot. Didn't get it, but he drew a foul from Lee Coward. And that is 3 fouls for the Missouri point guard. 6'1" junior from Detroit. He's been bothered a little bit by a bruised right quadricep muscle, although he played 37 minutes in Missouri's last game against Kansas State, a narrow 5-point win at home against the Cats. Doug Smith still limping on that left ankle that he sprained earlier, leaves the lineup, and so does Coward. And Leonard and Church come back in. Sooners will have Blaylock at the line, trailing by 5.
When Smith injured himself, it really wasn't that much of a collision with King. He just came down and stepped on Stacey's 2 feet, which caused his legs to crumple underneath him and probably twist something.
Blaylock, 68% at the line, hits his first free throw attempt of the evening, and the Sooners are now 5 of 8 at the line. And Blaylock trying to cut it back to a 3-point lead is unable to do so. His second shot was off to the left, no good. 7-footer Gary Leonard brought it down, and Byron Irvin brings it into the forecourt. Anthony Peeler in for Coward now. Sanbodi with the basketball, throws it away, intended for Gary Leonard. And again, the Sooners have the ball, trailing by 4. They've been in this position once before. And they have gotten as close as 3 without the ball. Blaylock, left side to Wiley. Wiley top of the key against a packed-in 3-2 zone. Trying to defend against King. Wiley will shoot out front. Off the front of the rim, no good. And Gary Leonard with the rebound for the Tigers. He's got 5 in that department. Up court with the basketball comes Peeler. Left side over to Byron Irvin. Drives to the baseline underneath the basket. Taken out of play and fouled by Wiley. And Byron Irvin will take a trip to the line where he's 3 of 4.
Talked to an NBA scout from the Philadelphia 76ers. I said, what are you doing here? Who are you watching? King, Blaylock? No, because the 76ers can't get either one because they're going to be picked in the upper rounds of the draft, and Philly's going to have about a 16 or 17 pick. They're here to see Byron Irvin. They think he's a great pro prospect, a first-rounder and one of those picks, so they're here to watch him. And so far in the ball game with 8 points and a chance for more.
Doesn't get it on his first free throw attempt. It bounces away. Sooners have been lucky with him at the line 6 times because he's an 83% shooter, and he just halved them so far. Now he gets 4 out of 7 as the next one goes. 32-27. 8:14 remaining to play in the first half. Sooners have never led. They've trailed by as much as 15. Blaylock on the rim to Mullins in the corner. Tyrone Jones for 3. He got it. TJ with his first three-pointer of the night. And the Sooners stay with man-to-man full court pressure, and they sneak within 2. 7:55 remaining. Healer across the mid-court line. Working against Blaylock. Now turns. The left-handed shot is up. No good. Tipped up and rebounded by Church. Nice offensive board. Back up to Sambodi. Over to Byron Irvin. He pulls up, shoots a three-pointer. It's no good. Into the hands of Mullins. Sooners with a chance to tie or get the lead for the first time. And Mullins to stretch Jones. Back to Mullins. Over to Blaylock for 3, and the lead. It's there! Christmas, the comeback has been made. 33-32. Timeout, Missouri. Listen to this crowd. And as David Garrett just pointed out, it's the Sooners' biggest lead of the night. Back in a moment, 7:22 to play. First half, Oklahoma 33, Missouri 32.
Hi, folks. Jack Clark here, General Manager of Don Carlson Honda in Muskogee. Here's a few facts about the Honda 4-door Accord. 1983, Car and Driver 10 Best List. 1984, Car and Driver 10 Best List. 1985, 1986, and 1987, Car and Driver 10 Best List. 1988, Car and Driver 10 Best List. Folks, there's a pattern here somewhere. Starting as low as $12,998 at Don Carlson Honda in Muskogee.
Today's families want life insurance that's sensible and affordable. That's why so many families look to State Farm for life insurance that meets today's needs and tomorrow's goals. State Farm Life Insurance can protect your family's way of living while building financial security for your retirement years. For all the details, see one of your local State Farm agents. In Muskogee, see Larry Hoffman or Ray Kurt. Sensible, affordable protection for today's families. That's life insurance the State Farm way.
Missouri's last lead of 15 was 25-10 at the 13:58 mark. Since that time, John, Oklahoma's outscored Missouri 23-7.
That's in a time span of 6 minutes and 36 seconds to get the lead by 1. Sooners unbeaten here, 9-0 in the year, won 24 in a row over the past 2 years at Lloyd Noble, and have won 5 straight over Missouri here. Sooners lead the all-time series 91-76. Van Bodie runs along the inbounds line and got the pass into Irvin. Peter Henry's checked in for the first time. Out is Terrence Mullins, and Henry guards Irvin, and Henry gets a hand on him and swept the ball away and drew a foul. Now with Skeeter Henry at 6'7", suddenly the Sooners, instead of having a 3-inch height disadvantage, have a 1-inch height advantage in that defensive matchup there. And Henry might be just a little bit quicker to stay with the athletic ability of Byron Irvin. Peeler back to Sambodi on the inbounds. Looking down to Leonard. Free throw line to Greg Church. Back to Sambodi. Inside to Leonard. Fakes one way, fakes the other. Dumps it across the lane. And a layup missed by Sambodi, who was free. William Davis with the rebound. He's come in. And down court, Blaylock will go to Henry. Looking for Davis. King down low. Martin's out of the lineup. Right side. Now Wiley's out. Now Henry with the basketball. Right side to TJ. Got it inside to King. Double team. Back to Tyrone from the corner. Shot good. A three-pointer. TJ with a pair of three-pointers. Sooners lead by 4. 36-32. 6:38 remaining. Sold out. Standing room only. Lloyd Noble center. Byron Irvin with the basketball to Peeler. Top of the key. Right side. Turns. Double clutcher. Shoots. Nice left-handed pump. Double pump and jump shot by Peeler that goes in to cut it to 2. Back comes Blaylock in traffic, and we got a foul against Peeler out front before Blaylock collided with and ran over Mike Sambodi. And the thing that saved Blaylock there was that Peeler bumped him and fouled him on the drive into the lane. Sooners have been in the 1-and-1 for exactly 5 minutes, and Blaylock will walk up there for his third free throw attempt. He's hit one of his other two.
I do want to point out that the Oklahoma bench needs to be very polite the rest of the ball game. One more technical on the bench, no matter who it's on, and Billy Tubbs is out of the game, so I know they've got that in mind.
Yeah, I'm not sure the first penalty was against Tubbs or not, or the first technical or not, but it was against the bench. The second one was against Billy for what he said over the PA. Blaylock rolls in the free throw, his 10th point, and the Sooners are 7 of 11 at the line. And the next free throw is up and rattles out. No good for Blaylock, who's now 2 of 4. Leonard came down with a rebound. 37-34. 6:15 remaining first half. Sooners by 3. Peeler across the timeline. Blaylock reaches around, tips the ball loose. Peeler chases and gets it in front of the Sooner bench, and Irvin on a pass gets it down, and we get a foul against King going up to try to defend against Gary Leonard. Leonard is listed, David, as 7'1", 264. And he may very well be that. At 7'1", you can put a lot of weight on a frame. He does not, he is not skinny by any way, shape, or form, but to me, he looks like he's not quite as heavy, not as chubby baby fat as he was in the first couple of years at Missouri. He's there to shoot, too. 61% free throw shooter, and this one is no good. He's got 4 points. It's his first time at the line. Officially, Missouri now has moved in to the 1-and-1, although this is a 2-shot foul. Stacey King up, circling his hand, to the crowd, makes some noise. They do, but Leonard beats him as the free throw rolls in for his 5th point. Blaylock hustles it up as Missouri a little slow getting back. Now the ball left side to Jones. He jump passes it down to King. Looks out front against 3 men. He shoots and scores. Left side. Stacey King in the double figures with 10 points. 4-point Oklahoma lead equals their biggest. 39-35. Peeler in between the circles, and the ball off to Sambodi. Went to the left side of the floor. Back up to Byron Irvin. A lob over the defense, and a nice play. And a layup by Greg Church. And they're going to give him the bucket. And Church will go to the line with a chance for a three-pointer. A great lob over the defense by Byron Irvin to Greg Church, and he got the layup for his first point and was fouled by Oklahoma's William Davis. So Church at 72% at the line steps up for the first time. And his free throw bounces off to the right, no good. And in the lane too soon was Stacey King. And he knew it. He was. Yep, he shook his head and said, yep, I was in there. King got in the lane too soon, so Church gets a second try. And he's short on this one, and King comes down with a rebound. 5.5 minutes to play. Up court, Blaylock to the free throw line. A bouncer over to Jones. He drives baseline, dumps it back to King. Out front, he'll shoot. He hit it. 15-footer by Stacey King. Free throw line left side.
What a great assist by Jones to get penetration, to have him crash off down on him on a 3-on-1. That left Stacey all alone at the free throw line for the point.
And Skeeter Henry gets called for a foul before the ball ever gets inbounds for bumping Byron Irvin. We'll be back after a network timeout for Texaco.
Wherever you are, trust the Texaco star up ahead. It's there shining bright.
Now make stopping at your Texaco station more convenient than ever with the Texaco credit card. Use it for our gasoline, Haviland motor oil, and in our food marts. If you don't already have a Texaco credit card, be sure to ask for an application.
Byron Irvin hits the first free throw. His second one is up. It's also good. 11 points for Irvin. 41-39. Sooners hustle the ball back into play. Henry comes down low to King. He's underneath Leonard. Goes up. The shot is blocked from behind by Sambodi and knocked out of bounds. And it'll be Blaylock to inbounds for the Sooners. He sends it over to Skeeter Henry. Up to the top to Tyrone Jones. A pass intercepted by Peeler. Peeler on a break. 2-on-1 against Stretch all the way in. Throws up the shot. It goes in. And we got a tie game as Jones made a bad pass and then couldn't defend against it the opposite end. Score tied at 41. 5:05 to play. Tyrone Jones looking inside around the rim. Henry to Blaylock. Passes a three-pointer. King comes up high post. Now in the corner to Henry against the zone. Back up to Tyrone Jones. Almost lost the ball. Needs some help. Back to Skeeter Henry. Terrence Mullins preparing to come in for Jones. Henry looking down to William Davis. Gets it into him. Davis double team. Back to Skeeter Henry. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Tipped up by King, and Henry comes up with a rebound. Back to Stretch. He's got a three-pointer. It's there. Stretch Jones. He's warmed up. He's got 3 3-pointers. And the lead back up to 3, 44-41, 4:27 remaining. Peeler against Blaylock on the run from the free throw line, and his shot hangs on the lip and goes in. Peeler got a bounce, the young freshman from Kansas City, Missouri, with 6 points. Blaylock back down court. Jones wants it again, and his shot rattles out, tipped up into the hands of Leonard. Back come the Tigers. They trail by 1. To the free throw line, into the lane, into the air, and the shot up and in by Peeler, and Missouri regains the lead. You see why Peeler is so well thought of as an outstanding freshman, 45-44. King down low from Henry, goes to the hoop, misses the shot, no foul called. Greg Church down with the basketball. Billy Tubbs is up, acting like one of those TV evangelists with his hands up in the air, pleading for money. 3:40 remaining to play. In the forecourt in front of us comes Peeler. He works against Blaylock. Now loses the dribble. Bounces it down to the posting. Greg Church. He jumps it up and in from near the baseline right. And suddenly Missouri has climbed back up by 3. 47-44. It's a heavyweight battle. Jones, nobody on him. He'll shoot from the corner. Give it to him. A 2-pointer for Stretch Jones. Tyrone has 15 first-half points to lead the Sooners. Missouri says, you kill us out front. We are going to stay on King and pack it in. And they're doing it. They might change if Jones continues his shooting tactics. With the basketball into the lane is Stan Bodie. He turns, he shoots, he misses. Down on the floor, the ball rolls out of the hands of Greg Church. A turnover. Jones is 3 of 4 from three-point range and 6 of 9 overall. We get a timeout. We're going to take a network timeout and be back after these messages from Grape Nuts and Bud Light.
Well, we're all set for another exciting season of Sooner basketball. Proudly sponsored for 1989 by the one and only Post Grape Nuts cereal. And it's a real winner. You can't beat Post Grape Nuts, made from natural wheat and barley. It's got a delicious nutty taste and lots of crunch. It really scores with the fans. Time to make our move, team. Sooner basketball and Post Grape Nuts in a league of their own, naturally.
Mr. Bimbleman?
Yes, Fenwick?
Need our new advertising agency for Bimbleman's light beer.
Sir! People, I want to outsell Bud Light. Well, have you tried my beer?
We drew lots, sir, and the loser, winner tried it.
Where is he?
He's no longer with us.
Yes, moving right along. Read him our new slogan.
When you want a beer real bad, we've got a real bad beer. Bimbleman's Light.
Needs work.
When it comes to smooth taste, one light outshines them all. Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Since Oklahoma had its last biggest lead at 4, John, 41-37, Missouri has outscored the Sooners 10-5, so it's been the big seesaw here this evening.
Missouri 47, Oklahoma 46, Lloyd Noble Center, Norman, Oklahoma. Sooners in their last 90 games here have won 88 times, and since Billy Tubbs came to Oklahoma at Lloyd Noble Center, the Sooners have won 128 times and lost only 12. Currently, a 24-game streak on the line. More important, first place in the Big 8 Conference and a move up the national rankings. Missouri with a half-game edge over the Sooners, unbeaten at 6-0, and Oklahoma 6-1 in league play. Oklahoma is 46%, 17 of 37. Missouri 59%, 19 of 32. Blaylock crosses into the offensive court as the clock dips under 3 minutes, and Missouri has gone back into man-to-man as Jones is defended by Doug Smith, and Jones drives in the lane, and a shot blocked by Gary Leonard. Up with the ball is Peeler, weaving up court, bounces it to Smith. He gives it back across the lane on a pass, and it is knocked away out of bounds by Terrence Mullins, who's returned, but Mullins did not replace Tyrone Jones. And Tony Martin is back in to give Davis a rest. And down low on the inbounds, Leonard misses a shot on a pass down that skipped over the rim. Tony Martin got the rebound. Blaylock's pass deflected to King. He pulls up. 6-footer won't fly. Irvin with an outlet pass off the rebound to Smith to Peeler. Peeler back. He'll pull up, dumps it underneath, and it's off of Tony Martin out of bounds as the pass intended for Smith ricocheted off the knee of the Los Angeles Junior. 2:29 remaining, first half. Missouri 47, Oklahoma 46. Doug Smith off to our right, underneath the Missouri basket to inbound the basketball. Gets it into Byron Irvin, inside to Leonard. He jump hooks it up and in as it crawled over the front of the rim. Leonard with 7 points against King. King with 12 offensively for Oklahoma. Lead back to 3 for the Tigers. Blaylock to half court with the basketball. Sooners stack 2, both lanes. Now pop out Jones. He took the pass, looks down for Tony Martin. Up to the top to Mullins. Around the rim to Blaylock. Blaylock a lob down to King. He works in, got the bucket. He's fouled on the play. Gary Leonard will draw his second. King has a chance to tie it up with 2:02 remaining here in the first half as he'll go to the line for his second old-fashioned three-point opportunity.
You know, suddenly that middle isn't packed like it was for a couple of reasons. Oklahoma is getting the ball. It doesn't look as packed as it was. It may still be.
No, I agree.
Penetration, great passing from the outside. Both the bounces and the lob passes, and Missouri hasn't been able to knock it away.
King ties it at 15, or with his 15th point at 49. 2 minutes to play. Into the forecourt comes Anthony Peeler. Turns to the left-handed dribble. Cross-court the pass to Byron Irvin. Inside pass broken up by King. Blaylock on the dribble. Gets through the defense. Takes it down and gets the layup. And Blaylock, with a nice change of hands in the air, gets the layup. And then Blaylock almost stole the ball on the inbounds intended for Peeler. Thing about Mookie was he wasn't going to break free, and he pushed the ball forward on a dribble and caught up with it at half court. That gave him the extra step. He took it for the layup. 51-49. Half court, Byron Irvin against the Sooner pressure. He's all the way to the paint and outside. Almost walks. Gives to Peeler. Peeler shoots for 3. Shot no good. Up in the air for the rebound is Irvin, and he gets in there and gets the bucket to tie it again. At 51. 1:25 remaining to play. High-scoring battle, 51 apiece. Mullins, he'll shoot for 3 in front of the Missouri bench. It's short. Bounds up in the air. Leonard with the rebound. Tigers break up court. Greg Church is down court. 2-on-2 for a shot that spins out off the glass. And the Hawk, Tony Martin, with the rebound. Quickly, back comes Mullins on the dribble. Scoops it now. Throws it in the corner to Blaylock. He leans in. Throws up a 17-footer. No good. Back come the Tigers. On the rebound is Greg Church. 57 seconds to play. And Smith over and back. Caught the ball partially in the offensive court and came back across the timeline and turned it over for the 12th time for the Tigers, who have averaged 16 per game. Oklahoma has only 3 turnovers in the game, miraculously, and we're down to 50 seconds remaining to play first half. Mullins looking inside, gets to the King, back to the basket. He turns, shot is up, it's no good. The Hawk comes down with a rebound, he's fouled. Back in 30 after a network timeout.
If you have questions about expanding your company, training your workers, or finding business financing, call the people with the answers. Call Teamwork Oklahoma, a new business referral service sponsored by the Oklahoma Department of Commerce along with statewide economic development groups. Call us toll-free, 1-800-522-OKLA. That's 1-800-522-OKLA. It takes teamwork, Oklahoma.
Tony Martin on the front side of the 1-and-1 has just given Oklahoma the lead back with 44 seconds to play and gives them a 2-point lead as he hits the bonus on the 1-and-1. 53-51. Doug Smith almost throws the ball away. Peeler saves it deep in his own end, throws it to half court, and Gary Leonard catches it. Scoops it over to Byron Irvin, and the Tigers go left corner to Doug Smith against the man. A lob inside to Leonard, and the 7-footer has an easy layup in the lane right in front to tie it with 25 seconds to play, and the Sooners, I think, are going to go for the final shot. 53-53. First half battle between the 2 best teams in the league. Jones almost had a ball picked off by Doug Smith. Now a long pass up in the upper right corner to Mullins. Clock down to 7 seconds. Mullins now lost track of the time. 4 seconds. Blaylock with it. He's going to turn underneath as Martin shoots at the buzzer and misses a point-blank layup try. And we'll take a 30-second network timeout for Uniroyal.
Get you with Warren Slick Tires. Stop by and see your Oklahoma independent Uniroyal dealer. Let him show you his complete line of Uniroyal Tiger Paw radials for your car and his line of Uniroyal Laredos for your pickups, vans, and campers. You can always depend on your Uniroyal dealer to give you top quality tires and automotive service, not to mention the friendliest service in town. Check out your Oklahoma independent Uniroyal dealer today.
one of the wildest halves that we've seen here in a long time, an intense heavyweight slugfest, and peppered by 2 technical fouls against the Sooner bench, one for sure against Billy Tubbs for what he said on the public address announcement when requested, or in the public address system, when requested by the officials to ask the crowd not to throw things on the floor. Tubbs said, in essence, no matter how bad the officiating is, do not throw anything on the floor, and he got a technical foul for that. The Sooners had one earlier on a blatant miss of an out of bounds by official Rick Wilco. It is tied at 53. Our halftime show gets underway in 2 minutes after these messages.
So, Fenwick, do you have the new jingle for Bimbleman's Light Beer?
Yes, sir, Mr. Bimbleman. Hit it, girls.
Bimbleman's Light is the light that's right, but only when you're out of Bud Light.
Fenwick, you mentioned Bud Light in our jingle.
Well, people prefer Bud Light at picnics, parties, ball games.
Enough.
When it comes to a smooth taste, one light outshines them all. Bud Light.
So when do they prefer us?
24th, right after dying of thirst.
Ask for Bud Light, because everything else is just a light. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Wherever you are, trust the Texaco star up ahead. It's there shining bright.
When more than your car needs filling up, check out a Texaco Food Mart. We have everything you need. Piping hot coffee, cold drinks, snacks, even the basics like bread and milk. And you can charge it all with your convenient Texaco credit card.
Up ahead, there's Texaco, star of the American road. Texaco.
We've been looking forward to fixing up the house for a while. Well, we finally got the game room.
And you love it.
I do.
Especially your pool table.
Yep. Nice shot, honey.
Now we're thinking about redoing the kitchen.
We are?
Mm-hmm.
When you make changes to your home, your insurance needs also change. That means it's time for a friendly review with the Farmers Insurance Group of companies.
It would be simple. First, we take out the old stove.
America can depend on farmers.
In Muskogee, see Stephen Smalley at 520 East Okmulgee. Call 683-0261.
Now is the time to consider buying your dream home with financing from Commercial Bank and Trust Company. Low cost, low interest, bond money is now available from the Real Estate Department located on the 4th floor at Commercial Bank and Trust. Call Peggy, Pat, or Reba at 687-6321 today. Your new house is a real possibility during 1989. Commercial Bank and Trust Company, an equal housing opportunity lender. Member FDIC.
Hi again, everybody. This is John Brooks along with David Garrett. It is halftime here at Lloyd Noble Center, and our statistician, Terry McLemore, put it in a pretty good framework, I thought, when he said just before we came back, David, kind of reminds you of the first half of the national championship game last year when the Sooners in Kansas had that wild 50-50 tie in Kansas City in the national championship game at halftime.
Oklahoma really played a good first half other than the run that Missouri got on. I think the Sooners dug themselves into a hole. I don't think the officiating's been that bad. They missed the blatant call. You shouldn't base a whole ball game on one call. Billy Tubbs shouldn't have said what he said at midway through to get the technical foul. Then Oklahoma came back. The players, amazingly enough, kept their mind on their business and really put together a string of 23-7 to grab the lead. Then I thought both teams probably played pretty typical of an Oklahoma-Missouri matchup when all that stuff was out of the way, just toe-to-toe and blow-to-blow, and we've had a great first half tied at 53. All the features that we thought, and I think Terrence Mullins has played a good defensive first half. Tyrone Jones has taken upon himself as a leadership role in this ball game, and well, he should. It opened things up for Stacey King, and some of the Avalanche started to roll. And they're both the scoring leaders for the Sooners with 15 each. We're going to look at everything statistically as our halftime show gets into full gear with Oklahoma and Missouri deadlocked at 53 at the intermission, but now this network timeout.
Oklahoma families count on State Farm agents for all their family insurance needs. When it comes to homeowners insurance, they're getting good protection at a good price, great claims handling, and an agent who delivers outstanding personal service. They're getting a homeowners insurance value that gets talked about. That's why State Farm insures more homes in Oklahoma than anyone else. And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And the fans are going wild for Post Raisin Bran. Because Post, the one with those super big, super plump, super juicy all-stars, the California Raisin. That's right, folks. Post Raisin Bran's big raisin taste is scoring big points with the whole family.
So if you want to kick off your day in a big way, kick it off with a Super Bowl of Post Raisin Bran with the California Raisins. Because big raisins make a big difference.
Sooners struggled shooting some in the half, managed to end up at 42%. And, of course, that's about 8 percentage points off of what they had coming in. They came in averaging 50.5 points per game for the season. Sooners 19 of 45. They ended up with 7 more attempts than Missouri. They've got 3 field goals less, but Oklahoma has 5 more three-point field goals. Missouri 22 of 38 for a bristling 58%. The Tigers are second in the conference in all games at 52%, but they lead the conference in Big 8 games in shooting at 52.8%. The Sooners are at 51.4 in conference games. Oklahoma was 50% from three-point range, 6 of 12, and the Tigers put up only 3 and hit 1. At the free throw line, the Sooners were 9 of 14. Missouri hit 8 of their 12 free throw attempts. Rebounding, well, a big edge to the Tigers, who hammered Oklahoma, especially early in the game when the Tigers raced out to that 15-point lead in the first 5 minutes before the Oklahoma comeback. And Gary Leonard has 9 rebounds already at halftime, and he's been averaging just 5.5 a game. And Doug Smith has his per-game average of 7 at halftime. Tigers with a 28-18 edge. King has 5 rebounds, and Martin 4. Turnovers, Sooners handled the ball well with just 3 turnovers. Actually, Oklahoma missed some shots early. Missouri didn't miss anything. A couple of calls that were controversial, and that's really what caused the avalanche, and then the technical fouls to go along with it, and the extra points at the free throw line, the extra field goal attempts which the Tigers made, and that was really where the big point difference was made up early for Missouri, and the Tigers ended up turning the ball over 12 times in the first half. It's tied at 53 here at Lloyd Noble Center in a battle for the Big 8 conference lead and more national esteem, and we'll have a look at the scoring right after this 60-second local timeout.
This is our first real dinner alone in 25 years.
Can you believe it? Our youngest in college.
I'll miss him.
Well, at least I'll have the car to myself.
Honey.
As your life changes, your insurance program should too. And that means it's time for a friendly review with a Farmers Insurance group of companies.
I think we'll be making a lot of changes.
You mean maybe you'll wash and I'll drive?
One step at a time.
America can depend on farmers.
In Muskogee, see Wayne Buck at 930 North York. Call 687-5496.
Now is the time to consider buying your dream home with financing from Commercial Bank and Trust Company. Low cost, low interest, bond money is now available from the real estate department located on the 4th floor at Commercial Bank and Trust. Call Peggy, Pat, or Reba at 687-6321 today. Your new house is a real possibility during 1989. Commercial Bank and Trust Company, an equal housing opportunity lender. Member FDIC.
You're tuned to your place for sports. Regional Radio, Quick 97, KKWK, KLUE, Muskogee.
6 senior guard Byron Irvin. Irvin with 13, the only double-figure scorer for Missouri, but they've got great balance. Gary Leonard, the 7'1" senior center, has 9 points, followed by sophomore Doug Smith with 8. Guard Lee Coward, who picked up 3 fouls in the first half, he has 7 points, also with 8 points off the bench. And a fine showing is Anthony Peeler, who was the Mr. Show Me State, Mr. Show Me basketball in the state of Missouri last year as a high school senior, and he's shown in the first half in his play why he is so highly touted and thought of. Greg Church and Mike Sanbodi, the blue-collar workers for Missouri, each had 4 points. Over on the Oklahoma side, Tyrone Jones with 3 three-pointers in the first half, has 15 points. He's got 3 from three-point range and 3 baskets from two-point range for 15 points, and is tied with Stacey King for the scoring lead at the intermission. King with 15. And remember this, Tyrone Jones did not play against Missouri last year. He never got in any of the 3 games. He's got 15 at halftime, making up for it. 12 points for Mookie Blaylock, who had 2 three-pointers, and the rest of the Sooners scoring 5 from Terrence Mullins, 3 points each from Tony Martin and Andre Wiley. And it is tied at 53 here at Lloyd Noble Center. We'll take a look at the standings and what's taking place in the Big 8 Conference and what's ahead. Missouri and Oklahoma deadlocked at the intermission. But now this local timeout.
With a new name comes a new commitment to Muskogee. The new name is Owens Brockway Glass, and they're excited about their future in Muskogee. They've served the Muskogee area for over 40 years, and now more than ever, they urge you to buy glass whenever possible. They're also renewing their efforts on glass recycling. You know about can recycling, but glass can also be recycled. Just bring it to the swap building at 514 Fond du Lac and make some money while helping clean up the landscape. Your hardworking friends and neighbors at Owens Brockway Glass remind you to buy glass as they continue to serve the Muskogee area.
State Farm is there to show you just where you stand on your family insurance. Car, home, life, and health, your local State Farm agents will be happy to review your current insurance and give your family an insurance checkup. The advice is free, and the decisions are yours. And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call one of your local State Farm agents today. In Muskogee, call Dave Dixon, Paul Weatherby, or Tom Yaden.
Just a couple of other quick notes before we look at the Big 8 Conference. Mookie Blaylock has gone over the 100 mark in steals for the year, as Blaylock has picked up 3 in the first half. He came in with 99. Of course, he is the nation's leader. And Tyrone Jones, in addition to 15 points, has had 4 assists in the first half to lead Oklahoma in that department. Nobody with more than 2 assists for the Tigers. Again, turnovers 12 for Missouri, 3 for Oklahoma. Very quickly, as Oklahoma returns to the floor, Missouri will be out in just a moment. Here is a look at the Big 8 Conference. Oklahoma State, of course, a big road win for the Cowboys at Kansas. A 6-point victory last night. 3-point win for Colorado at home against Nebraska. And so Nebraska's fallen into the cellar. At the top is Missouri at 6-0. The Sooners are a half a game behind at 6-1. Obviously, if they win here this evening, they'll take a half-game edge over Missouri. If not, they'll drop a game and a half back. Oklahoma State in third, a game behind Oklahoma at 5-2. And everybody else, the bottom 5 now are below 500. Kansas State is 3-4 in fourth. Kansas has dropped to 3-5 for the season. Iowa State and Colorado are now 2-5, and Nebraska really having their problems. They now have dropped into the basement with a record of 1-6. Other game tonight in the Big 8 Conference a little bit later. Kansas State will be hosting Iowa State. That one is approaching here within the hour. And on Saturday, the lineup looks this way. Colorado will be at Oklahoma State, Nebraska at Kansas State, and Kansas at Missouri. Iowa State is idle, as is Oklahoma. Of course, the Sooners play here in another nationally televised game at 11:50 now. The tip-off is 11:50 a.m. Sunday morning, 10 minutes before noon on Sunday. That makes our airtime for the Billy Tubbs Show here on the Sooner Basketball Network at 11:20. Let's take a 10-second pause for station identification. This is the Sooner Basketball Network. Here's a reminder that Channel 5 in Oklahoma City, KOCO Television, in their Up Close and Personal feature on next Tuesday evening with sports director Dean Blevins, will have a feature on Billy Tubbs. That's during the 10 o'clock news on Channel 5 KOCO Television in Oklahoma City. Up Close and Personal featuring Billy Tubbs. That's the feature next week. We're ready to go with the start of the second half. It's tied at 53, and we'll return in 2 minutes after these messages.
A bop a do bud bud, a do bud bud, a bop a do bud bud. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A bop a do bud bud, a do bud bud, a bop a do bud bud. Put on the dancing shoes, to the rhythm and blues. Tell a friend about you, this buzz for you. Keep on coming through, 'cause you really make it work. Yeah, this buzz for you, this buzz. And as it would say, this buzz for you.
State Farm is there in Oklahoma to help you keep up with all your changing needs. That's what State Farm's Family Insurance Checkup is all about, keeping in touch to help you keep up with all your changing insurance needs, auto, home, life, and health. The advice is free and the decisions are yours. From Blackwell to Ardmore, State Farm agents are there to help you keep up to date.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Specialized job training is now available to you through Eastern Private Industry Council and Oklahoma State Tech in Okmulgee. If you're looking for a meaningful job for the future, specialized training in boat engine repair and vending machine repair is now available at no cost. For more information, call Oklahoma State Tech at 1-800-722-4471 toll-free and start working today for a better tomorrow.
Hi, folks. Jack Clark here, General Manager of Don Carlson Honda in Muskogee. Here's a few facts about the Honda four-door Accord. 1983, car and driver 10 best list. 1984, car and driver 10 best list. 1985, 1986, and 1987, car and driver 10 best list. 1988, car and driver 10 best list. Folks, there's a pattern here somewhere, starting as low as $12,998 at Don Carlton Honda in Muskogee.
John Brooks along with David Garrett for the start of the second half. You know, I'm liking the coaches sometimes with U.S. senators and House of Representatives with congressmen, whether it's in the state or otherwise. After all that yelling and everything, Rich Daley and Tubbs were over talking with Ed Hightower, and it was, they went on for about, well, during the 2-minute break, it was pretty civil, and Billy was pretty calm and everything, and this was after Hightower had slapped in. It had been great to have a tape recording of that, and you know what? Billy said on his pregame show today, you know, you try to leave that stuff behind after the game is over. I don't see how in the world sometimes they can, but I guess it's like a heated debate on the floor of the Senate sometimes. Two guys that go after it, then go out and have cocktails and dinner afterward. Do your best. I don't think these guys go out for dinner, though.
No, I don't think so. I don't think they're in town enough to see each other. Maybe at Big 8.
I don't believe that's a factor. Here we go.
You wage your battle, you win or lose, it's over, and then it's on to another one.
Sambodi, Coward, Irvin, Smith, and Leonard for the Tigers. Sooners starting 5 of Blaylock, Jones, Martin, King, and Mullen. And the ball comes inbounds to Lee Coward, who plays with 3 fouls for the Tigers. Coward across the timeline. Tigers shoot their basket off to the left, north end, front of their bench. Sooners in front of theirs at the south. Inside, a pass and a jump hook into Leonard, and he opens the scoring for the Tigers with points 10 and 11. 55-53, opening seconds of the final half. Blaylock to the left side to Jones. A lob inside deep into King, and he answers it right back. And it's the battle of the big guys here in the opening minute of play, as the Tigers will have Byron Irvin to inbound the pass against the Sooner pressure, and a lob up to Coward from Sambodi, who's across the timeline and sets the half-court Missouri offense. The game tied at 55. Coward dribbling, right side, bounces in the corner to Irvin. He lobs it over the defense. Smith is bumped and fouled, and it's going to be, well, it was just a choice of Rick Wilco. He could have gone, I believe, with Martin or King, and he has gone with Stacey King.
King left his feet really off balance, crashed into Smith, and he was the person closest to the bucket and closest to Smith's advancement towards scoring, and King got called for the foul.
And he was in the act of shooting, so he's at the line to shoot, too. Tigers averaging 88.5 points a game and giving up 74.5. Free throw good by Doug Smith to give Missouri the lead back. And the 6'10 sophomore is in double figures with 10 points as his second one drops. 57-55, 45 seconds played. Blaylock between the circles, right side to Jones. Looking inside, now Martin, the high post, stays out front. The ball to Mullen, back to Tony, top of the key. They sag on King, off of the, still playing man-to-man. The ball over to Mullen, guarded by Coward in the corner. Tyrone Jones' shot is on the way. No good. The ball out of the hands of Howard. It rolls underneath, and a layup missed by Blaylock, and he brings the ball back down. Leonard lost the ball, now inside to King, muscles in, and draws a foul. I thought Leonard had the ball completely that time, and Stacey was muscling in. The officials were right there, saw it different, but that's why they're getting paid for doing that, and I'm going to stay being paid for doing this. And
well, Stacey made a smart move after he got the ball kind of jammed. He just turned his wrist and went up to the bucket and had the hand draw across the back of his wrist. Then a foul's going to be called. Stacey earned that one.
And he earns the free throw as he drops it for his 18th point. King had great games against Missouri last year. In 3 games, he had 99 points, averaged 33 points a game. 40, 23, and 35. Second free throw rolls out, no good. Leonard bounces in there to get the rebound, and Missouri has a 1-point lead, 57-56. Through the center circle, Byron Irvin with a pass left side to Sambodi, drives against Tyrone Jones. Stretch gets back to defend him. The pass back to Coward, who came across to help out. Now he's against Blaylock into the lane, goes up, shoots off the front of the rim on a lean in, and King down with a rebound. Half court to Blaylock. Blaylock, a bouncer down to TJ. Stretch sends it back to King. He throws up a shot from the free throw line off balance to the boards. It was crashed by Martin. He missed the shot. Mullen's got it back to Stretch. He'll go for 3. He's sent it home. It's one of those Tyrone Jones games. He's got 4. Three-pointers. Of course, early in the year, he hit 6 in a row in a game in the All-College that set the Big 8 Conference record. Irvin into the forecourt, far side. Inside to Leonard, he gets free, collides with Martin, who didn't have position. And Martin draws the foul, and Gary Leonard's going back to the line, and it's going to be push it inside at both ends, and that doesn't take any kind of brilliance to understand that. Sooners lead 59-57.
So the best way to combat that, John, is keep position. Don't go in the air. Try to keep position. If Martin had not reached in that time, I think Leonard would have charged over him.
Leonard to shoot the first of two, and he's short off the front of the rim. Leonard now has missed 2 free throws in this half, and is 1 for 4. 10 of 15, the Tigers as a team. Leonard's next one is in. He's got 12 points, 59-58 Sooners. 2:07 play. Blaylock into the forecourt. Gets free. Goes to the baseline. Puts up a shot. It's blocked. Leonard up with it. Jumps past the half court to Lee Coward. He drives against Mullins. Goes to the hoop and scores. Nice move by the Detroit junior Lee Coward. Right back. Mullins hustles it up court. He pulls up. Shoots from the free throw line. And it skips all over the rim and drops in. Mullins got a reverse spin off the back of the rim and got the bucket back for a 1-point lead. And Irvin's hustled it to Sambodi. He's got it in the lane. And up with a steal from Leonard with Blaylock. Down court, Mullins to Jones for the layup. And the Sooners by 3. And Fritz Jones has 20 points to lead Oklahoma scoring 63-60 Sooners. 17-12 remaining to play, and Oklahoma drops into a 3-2 zone as Jones disguising it. Pass to the baseline to Samboni. Back to Doug Smith, and he jumps and jams it home on a two-handed slam at the back end of the Oklahoma zone. 63-62. Sooners by 1. 16:50 to play. Right side is Terrence Mullins. Looking for King. A lob into the paint. He's up, and he's fouled by Leonard. And again, I thought Leonard had the basketball. That's going to be 4 fouls on the 7-footer with 16:43 to play.
Sam Norsey, the new Lloyd Noble Center record. 11,734.
Oh, boy. Breaks the old record set against Georgia Tech, 4 years ago?
85?
80. Yeah, I think 4 years ago. We'll double check it and make sure. 11,734. You just heard David give it to you. All time, the biggest crowd ever to see a game. At Lloyd Noble Center is Stacey King. Steps to the line and hits the free throw. His 19th point. And maybe there'll be that many or break it again for Arizona, the nation's #1 ranked team. They'll be in here Sunday. Tip-off, remember, 11:50 in the morning, 10 minutes before noon. King's next one is up, skips all the way around, and rolls off, no good. 2-point center lead. Tigers with the rebound. Bring it into the forecourt under the guidance of Lee Coward. And Oklahoma's back in a man-to-man. Church at the free throw line with King out on end. Pass over to Byron Irvin. Inside to Smith. Back to Peeler, and Peeler traveled with it out front. Anthony Peeler had Coward free. Peeler had come into the lineup to give Sambodi a rest. 14 turnovers for Missouri. 2 underneath their game average for the season. And the Tigers, let's see what they set up here now. Do they stay man-to-man? They do. Sooners have it spread out a little bit outside the lane. Double low post down low, and Blaylock up at the top, and Billy's up, holding up one finger saying run the one game. King comes up as a high post, lobs it underneath, and it's out of Martin's hands, almost intercepted, and then Tony lost sight of the ball, and it ricocheted off of him out of bounds. 64-62 Sooners, 16:08 to play.
Let's see if the defense is disguised again and the players just back off around the box and end up really playing man-to-man when the players run.
Here's Church bringing it up against King, against the pressure. Back to Lee Coward. He's into the lane and makes a great play, and it's followed by a Doug Smith stuff off the miss of Coward. Tied at 64. Down court comes Mullins in the corner. He drives, pulls up, leans in, double clutches, hits the jumper from 14. Nice lean in by Terrence Mullins. Lead back to 2 for the Sooners. Right back is Lee Coward all the way to the hoop, and he got the layup. And suddenly the Sooners don't get much defense at the other end. So Blaylock brings it right back with 15:30 remaining to play in the game. Left side over to Terrence Mullins, to Tyrone Jones. Back to TJ, an NBA three-pointer on the way from the bench. It's no good. Rebounded by Greg Church. To Anthony Peeler, the true freshman. Down to Coward, pulls up the free throw line, dumps it underneath, and a bucket for Byron Irvin. And Missouri regains momentary control at 68-66. 15-10 remaining to play in the game. Tyrone Jones on the left side. In front of the Sooner bench, up between the circles to Mullins, around the rim to Blaylock. Fronting King is Mike Sanbodi. The ball left side of the floor to Mullins. High post to Martin. Back on the right to Tyrone Jones. Back to Martin. He's free. He'll shoot from the free throw line. Shot no good. Blaylock with the offensive rebound. Turns, shoots, scores. Baseline left. Blaylock with his first two. He averages 4.5 rebounds a game. And it's tied once more. 68-68 as the ties begin to mount. 14.5 minutes to play, and Blaylock with a foul out front against Coward. We're going to get a timeout. Back in a moment. Game tied at 68. Now, this local timeout.
Hi, folks. Jack Clark here, General Manager of Don Carlson Honda in Muskogee. Here's a few facts about the Honda four-door Accord. 1983, Car and Driver 10 Best List. 1984, Car and Driver 10 Best List. 1985, 1986, and 1987 Car and Driver 10 Best List. 1988 Car and Driver 10 Best List. Folks, there's a pattern here somewhere. Starting as low as $12,998 at Don Carlson Honda in Muskogee.
Oh, it wasn't just when Bernie decided to retire that Joe Baker knew what to do. Joe's been our farmer's agent for 19 years. Joe keeps in contact with Bernie and me. He's given us the kind of protection that gives us peace of mind.
For over 60 years, the hard-working professionals with the Farmers Insurance Group of Companies have been helping millions of people get the best insurance protection for their homes, autos, and lives. America can depend on farmers.
In Muskogee, see Marvin Schmidt at 617 East Side Boulevard. Call 682-0795.
14 minutes, 36 seconds to play. Missouri and Oklahoma deadlocked at 68. And we'll be back with more action here at Lloyd Noble Center right after this network timeout for Heartland Federal.
Oklahomans and Heartland Federal, so much in common. People who take pride in their jobs and their communities. People who cherish and nourish those enduring values of integrity, friendship, and honest work. With the strength of $1 billion in assets and the confidence of 75,000 customers, Heartland Federal makes a simple promise: to provide genuine value and superior service with care for each customer's unique needs. Heartland Federal, value, service, performance. Member FSLIC.
Remember, if the Sooners score 100 points in this game, Heartland Federal Savings and Loan will donate $100 to the University of Oklahoma basketball program. They've already donated $1,300 for the year. Time back in. Missouri with the ball on an inbounds pass to Coward. Oklahoma is 44%, and Missouri 61% for the game from the field. Bounce pass by Smith in close, and a lean in and charge against Byron Irvin, who picks up his second foul, and Rich Staley, the interim coach for the ill Norm Stewart, walks all the way to the bench area at the far side and gesturing in disbelief. Missouri is 6 of 8 in the second half, 28 of 46 for 61% for the game. Sooners are 6 of 12 second half, 25 of 57, 44%. Mullins will come down low into the paint. King spins, shoots from 10, no good. Into the hands of Coward. He's got a fast break pass to Irvin. He drives in. Mullins blocks the shot and fouled him. And the bucket goes in for Irvin. It is a layup for Byron Irvin, a foul to Mullins, and a chance for 3 points on the trip up court for Irvin, who will go to the line for the 10th time in this game. He is 6 of 9, all from the first half. And Missouri leads 70-68. Irvin's free throw is good. 18 for Irvin. Top scorer for the Tigers. At half court, Mookie Blaylock walks the ball into the forecourt. Sooners stack 2 down low. Pop Mullins up on the wing. Go to Jones around the rim to Blaylock for 3. It's there. Nothing but silk for Mookie from the left side. He's got 17 points. And Irvin works in the backcourt in a tie game at 71 against Terrence Mullins. A great battle between number 5 Oklahoma and number 3 Missouri. And Church driving around Andre Wiley, who's checked in. And a shot blocked by King. But they're going to call goaltending. Ball was on its downward slide as Stacy was looking for his 44th block of the year. And the bucket goes to Church. Greg Church gets credit for the basket. Blaylock works out front. Bounce pass right side to Jones. Down low to Wiley. He works in against Smith and draws the foul. Posting down low, the creator, taking it on the floor. And Doug Smith has picked up his third. Remember the other big guy for the Tigers, Gary Leonard, on the bench with 4 fouls. I'm sorry. It's Anthony Peeler. Peeler was called rather than Smith. Peeler called for reaching out front rather than Smith, who was defending on the lean end, and Wiley misses on the front side of 2. Andre is 1 of 3. Sooners down by 2. Still there. His second free throw missed. King got the rebound, had the ball knocked loose. And on a break, here come the Tigers, and a between-the-leg pass. We got a traveling call against Lee Coward. And Rich Daly is saying to Lee Coward, Rich Daly saying, nice work, Lee. That's 2 points you gave away by trying to be fancy instead of just dishing the ball off for an easy layup.
And Billy's up off the floor and saying, the guy was off the floor. How did he walk?
13-17 remaining play. I don't know how he walked. Mullins looking down low. Bounce pass inside to King. Turns, shoots, won't go. Wiley stuffs it in. Ball was on the rim, but they give him the basket on stuffing it in to tie it at 73. In the backcourt is Lee Coward. Coward to half court against Mookie Blaylock. Left side to Anthony Peeler. Peeler driving against Jones. Tries to block him off. Couldn't stay with him and picked up a foul. Stretch Jones has his third. With 12:54 remaining to play in the game, and it's tied at 73. The Sooners have 5 team fouls. Missouri 4.
Been tied 10 times. Oklahoma, of course, will get back on defense as Missouri tries to inbound the ball.
And the Tigers bounce it in. Blaylock bumped Coward. No foul. He came up, or Peeler rather, and Peeler drives in, shoots on a spin around, scores off the glass. He's got 10. He's going to be a fine player. He is right now. Blaylock bounce pass to Jones. Pulls up, shoots. It's home. His foot was on the three-point line. 22 points for Jones, and that is his career high in a Big 8 conference game. And it's tied at 75. 12 and a half minutes remaining to play. Peeler up court against Blaylock. Turns left, goes to Doug Smith. He drives against King. Pumps once. Short jumpers up. Hits short. Hips around. Rattled off the hands of Missouri's Mike Spanbody, who's back in. Tiger lineup is Spanbody and Church, the veteran seniors, along with Irvin, Peeler, and Smith. And the Sooners hustle at the Mullins in the corner. His jumper is in for 2. A 19-footer by Mullins. Oklahoma with the lead back, 77-75. Seesaw, Peter Trotter ball game at Lloyd Noble with 12:05 remaining to play. Peeler into the forecourt against Blaylock. Changes hands on the dribble. Comes back, and Blaylock knocks the ball loose. But it came. Now Mullins knocks it loose, and back with it comes Spanbody to Peeler. His jumper is up. It won't go. And a foul against Andre Wiley. Wiley coming out to defend against the jumper of Peeler. Fouls him and puts the Kansas City 6'4" freshman at the free throw line to shoot a pair. Gary Leonard has come back in for the Tigers to replace Doug Smith, and we are going to get an official timeout.
Which means there's no free shots going to be shot. It was after the shot was put in the air, so there'll be no free shots when we come back.
Exactly, because otherwise they wouldn't have taken the timeout before he shot the free throws. You are good there, David. You do catch those things. That's why they pay you the big money. 11:53 remaining to play. Back in a moment. Oklahoma 77, Missouri 75.
Help yourself today, help yourself tomorrow. That's what an individual retirement account from your Muskogee Federal Credit Union can do for you. In many ways, you help yourself today with a break on your federal taxes with an IRA. And you help yourself for the future by putting money into an IRA that grows each year for retirement at a competitive rate. So help yourself 2 ways with an individual retirement account from your Muskogee Federal Credit Union, 1910 West Shawnee, member NCUA.
Today's families want life insurance that's sensible and affordable. That's why so many families look to State Farm for life insurance that meets today's needs and tomorrow's goals. State Farm Life Insurance can protect your family's way of living while building financial security for your retirement years. For all the details, see one of your local State Farm agents. In Muskogee, see Larry Hoffman or Ray Kirk. Sensible, affordable protection for today's families. That's life insurance the State Farm way.
Everything that everyone hoped for, and I think maybe a little bit more with 11:53 to play, Oklahoma, Missouri, and the Sooners by 2. Back in 30 after a network timeout for Bud.
This bud is good for you. We're proud of the job you do. You're part of the land, a hard-working man.
again as we return. The Tigers hustled the ball in and down low. Leonard just hit a turnaround jump shot to tie the game again. Right side with it is Mullins. Down low to King. Goes to the floor. Goes to the hoop on the dribble and scores to get it right back. And when Leonard scores, King answers and vice versa. Peeler back against the pressure. Drives all the way. Oh, what a step by Peeler. Anthony Peeler at 6'4", got up like he was 6'10", and jammed it home off the dribble in the lane to give the Tigers the lead back. And that one, if the play wasn't so quick, would have been a Jiminy Christmas for the Tigers. Here's Wiley, right side to Blaylock, guarded by Peeler. Wiley, nobody on him. They sink on King, and Wiley answers with an 18-footer near the top of the key. And it's tied again. No, Oklahoma back in front, 81-79. A steal by Tyrone Jones. He lays it up and scores. And the Sooners equal their biggest lead of 4. Long pass into the forecourt to Greg Church. Holds it up to set the Tiger half-court offense. 10:50 to play in the game. Missouri with 17 turnovers now. Coward left side to Church. Wiley out on him. Pass to Peeler. Into the posting Sambodi. He's fouled by Jones, and he got the bucket in close. And the bad part there is, at the Sooners' hottest player offensively, Stretch Jones, just picked up his 4th with 10:42 remaining to play. Sambodi will be at the free throw line after being credited with the bucket, and officially Missouri now will move into the 1-and-1 as that's the 7th foul against the Sooners. Jones is out, and Skeeter Henry, the two that have been sharing starting duties at that number 3 spot. Skeeter Henry comes in. Sambodi hits the free throw to bring it back to a 1-point Oklahoma lead, 83-82. Into the forecourt comes Blaylock, right side to Skeeter Henry, up to Wiley, looks left, looks behind him, still has the ball, now back over to Henry, looking for King, sagging on King. Wiley again will shoot, top of the key, it's off to the right, no good. Blaylock after the rebound, had it momentarily, but lost it out of bounds, and possession back to the Tigers. 3 weeks, check it, 2 weeks from Saturday, these teams meet in Columbia in a mid-afternoon, Saturday afternoon game. To half court comes Church against the pressure. He's trapped by Blaylock and Mullins. Sends a pass to Lee Coward. Coward with the ball. Dribbling in front of the Tiger bench. Over to Byron Irvin, who's checked back in. Looks inside. Guarded by Mullins. Now lob over King in the defense to Leonard. He misses point blank. Then gets it and puts it right back up and in. And Missouri in front by 1. 84-83. 10 minutes left to play in the game. Top of the key, Wiley to Mullins. Dribbles far side, now turns, shoots a three-pointer. Off to the right. King going for the rebound. Out hustles Leonard for it. Goes to the hoop, can't get the shot. It's up off the glass, free underneath. Down with it comes Sambodi, and he gets a foul. Sambodi called for elbowing. I don't know what he's acting like he didn't do it. Did it right in front of the official and left an elbow in the chest of Wiley, I think.
I think you're right. Here's the deal. Oklahoma stays patient, blocks out, stays open. Missouri wins out, keeps the pressure on, and then lost their cool a little bit as Sambodi got called for the elbow.
Did you say Oklahoma State or?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Missouri with a 5th foul. Team-wide, 2nd for Sambodi. Ball into Henry. Up to the top to Mullins. Left side Blaylock. Doesn't shoot. Down low to Wiley. Turns, goes up. And the foul is going to be against Sambodi. I think. If it's against Leonard, he's gone. Sambodi, his 3rd. Sambodi had his season high of 12 points last year against the Sooners. Great game in Columbia, 12 points, 10 rebounds. Tigers beat the Sooners in overtime, 93-90. That was the last overtime game before the Sooners had the one at Iowa State this year. Free throw rattles out for Wiley. He was online. He's missed 3 in a row here in the second half. And now he'll try to get one down to tie it, and he manages that one for his 8th point. Tied at 84, 9:38 left to play in the game. Sambodi running along the inbound line to Greg Church, quickly across the timeline. Back to Irvin, drives against King, goes for the hoop, misses the shot, got his own miss back and put it up and in. Byron Irvin with 20 points, his season average, and Missouri by 2. Blaylock hustles it back, nobody on him. He drives all the way. Ball bounces off, no good. Into the hands of Wiley, knocked free, comes out with it, puts it up, it won't go, and down with the miss comes Sambodi. Half court, Byron Irvin, taking it in, dumps it off, underneath, shot blocked by Wiley, but a foul against him on a layup attempt by Greg Church, and the Sooners had a great chance to tie at the opposite end, and point blank couldn't get 2 to fall.
Just the luck of the draw, the breaks of the ball. Missouri came up with that one that time, and of course they didn't get the ball in the bucket. They'll have to earn it with the free throw line. Tigers red hot from the field, over 60% for the night. And the Sooners shooting 46%, trying to stay in there with them right now. Church has 2 free throws coming. He missed one in the first half. He doesn't miss this one. It's his 7th point. Best for the year field goal percentage for the Tigers, 61% against Oklahoma State in a win in Columbia against the Cowboys. Church got the second one to go. 4-point lead Missouri, 88-84. Blaylock to the left side to Skeeter Henry. Looking inside now to Wiley. Right side over to Blaylock. Blaylock dribbling outside the three-point line. Back to Wiley. Left side to Mullins. Bounce pass inside to King. Takes it to the hoop. Misses the shot. Puts it back up. Gets it in, actually. As it was coming off of the rim, he tipped his own miss back in. Irvin hustles the ball into Doug Smith. Wiley in the backcourt on hand. And checking him. Now racing up court with him. Big guy can really handle that ball at 6'10". Smith brought it up. Now I say that, and he throws it away. Threw it away on a pass intended for Lee Coward, but he handled it well from the dribble. Can I get a 50-50 out of that call? Well, it was a good pass. Just wasn't to anyone. He was well in control. The area he wanted to throw it to, just didn't have a teammate there. Well, there was a rider down on press row. 19th turnover. Sooners have committed only 5 turnovers in a game of this intensity. A remarkable figure. 8.5 to play. Missouri by 2. Blaylock walking it into the forecourt. Upper left court to Mullins. Down low. King turns. Baseline jumper in against Leonard. Stacey King with 25. Sooners leading scorer now. Just beating the 5-second call. Irvin got the ball into Coward. 8:16 to play. 88-88 as the ties just continue to mount. 15 at the top of the key. 15. Thank you, David. Right side. Coward has the ball knocked loose by Blaylock. Blaylock knocking it again. And it's off of Blaylock out of bounds. Ed Hightower right there saying that Mookie touched it last as it rolled out of bounds in front of public address announcer Mike Treps across the way. One more foul by Missouri will put the Sooners in the 1-1. Into the lane, off the inbounds drive, and Church takes it in, and the ball hung on the lip of the rim and dropped in for the bucket, and the lead back to Missouri. 90-88. Still 7:56 to play in a game. Both teams headed over 100 here. King down low, puts the shot off the glass and scores on a lean in against Leonard. And Leonard having to play him soft with 4 fouls, and King starting to take advantage of it. 7:40 to go, tied at 90. Irvin fouled by Mullins as they push the ball into the forecourt. And we're going to get some substitutions in there for the Sooners and the Tigers. Mike Sambodi coming in for Missouri. Wiley is leaving to be replaced by Davis. And Mullins has drawn his 3rd foul. The 90-90 tie is the 16th now of the game. Most points by Missouri this season, 114 against Southern University. Most by an opponent, 99 by Virginia Tech. 12 different lead changes in the game. Irvin hits the front side of a 1-1 for his 21st point. He is 8 of 11 at the free throw line. 91-90 Tigers. Next one is up. It is in. Now we will get a timeout. 7:38 to play. Back in a moment. Missouri 92, Oklahoma 90.
The Muskogee office of the Eastern Private Industry Council is offering specialized training for those interested in learning basic computer skills or those seeking secretarial training, quality job training at no cost. For more information on the basic computer and secretarial job training offered, call Eastern Private Industry Council in Muskogee at 683-8553. Start training now for a better paying job in the future.
The Nissan First-Time Buyers Program is back at Murray's Nissan Tohatsu at Muskogee. Now you can buy a 1989 Nissan hardbody pickup or Sentra at a low introductory price. And to qualify for the First-Time Buyers Program, all you have to have is a valid driver's license, full-time employment, and 1-year permanent residence. No previous credit history is needed. And if you qualify, there's no down payment.
Come check out the 89 Nissans and the first-time buyers program at Murray's Nissan Daihatsu, 841 North Main in
Both of
Muskogee.
these teams went over 100 last year in Norman, with Oklahoma winning 120 to 101, and they're headed that way right now. Back in 30 seconds after this for HCA.
If you wait until tomorrow to do something about your drug or alcohol problem, you may be waiting one day too long. At Presbyterian, we treat addictions like diseases because they are. Chemical dependency doesn't just affect the user, it sickens the family, and that's who we treat, the whole family. That's why Presbyterian's program is one of the most successful. Presbyterian Hospital. Call 232-0777 today, because tomorrow may be too late.
Well, if Tiger coach Norm Stewart's listening to our broadcast, maybe watching it on the tube also, he's got to be happy with his Tiger shooting, 71%. Maybe that'll help the fatigue and help the ulcer and whatever's ailing you, Norm. And if you are listening, we wish you the best and to get back soon. 92-90, Missouri. Time back in. Sooners bring the ball up. 7.5 minutes to play. Bounce past the Mullins. He's going to turn and shoot for three. Too hard off the heel. Going for it is Skeeter Henry, and the ball knocked loose from him by Sambodi out of bounds. For the game, Missouri is 37 to 59, 63%. Sooners are 47%, 35 to 75. Rebounding edge, Tigers 39 to 30. Turnovers, 5 Sooners, 19 Missouri. Blaylock loops it into Henry. Up to the top to Mullins. Down low is King and Davis now as the double low, and the ball into Davis. He works in, goes to the hoop, and gets the bucket. Muscled in against Greg Church. And the Sooners need some help for King, muscle-wise, on the opposite side of the lane, and William Davis, fresh off the bench, may be able to provide it. Game tied at 92. Church across midcourt, into the forecourt, back in the upper corner to Coward. Long two-handed pass, left side, midway into Irvin to Sambodi. Right side now over to Coward. Man-to-man defense by the Sooners to Irvin. Top of the key against Mullins. Shoots out front. It spins out. No good. Saved by Church to Coward. Back over to the free throw line. Underneath for two is Peeler from Irvin, and Peeler hung on the rim. Did not get called for the technical. Down court comes Blaylock. Sets up the offense. Missouri by 2. To Skeeter Henry. Nobody on him. He'll shoot from the corner. It's too hard. Rebounded by Davis. Nice offensive board. Back to Blaylock. Loops it to Mullins for 3 from out front, and it won't go. And Sambodi loses it. Out of bounds for Missouri. Had good lockout position on Davis, but couldn't control it.
I just want to say something about Peeler hanging on the rim. He did so to keep from coming down on an Oklahoma player. At least that's the way the official interpreted that.
So. Right. It wasn't that big of a deal. It just, he hung for a second. 94-92, the ball into Henry to the top for Mullins. You're right as far as the verdict. There's the jumper from the corner. No good by Blaylock. Rebounded by Davis. Goes for the hoop. Shot blocked. And no offensive goaltending call. I thought it was on its downward flight. Peeler really got up to block the shot of Davis. Officials saw it otherwise. Peeler at the opposite end offensively. Over to Irvin. He shoots for 3. Badly off to the left. Shot no good. Rebounded by Henry. Sooners trying to tie or take the lead. Up court comes Blaylock. To the free throw line to Mullins. Passes up the shot from the corner after missing 2. Inside to Davis. Back out to Skeeter Henry. He got it down to King. He turns up. Shot block. Gets it back again. Pass in the lane to Henry. Leans in. Shoots. Shot goes in. Henry jumps it in from 3 feet. And ties it at 94. 5:50 to go, and it is definitely crunch time. Coward across the midcourt line to Blaylock. Right side over to Anthony Peeler. Drives in the lane. Shoots. The shot won't go, and he's fouled by Henry. Peeler was so close to having that one drop. He must like Center State opposition. His high this year in his freshman year against Oklahoma State, 22 points. He's got 14 against the Sooners, and he's at the free throw line for the first time.
Skeeter Henry was complaining that he had just held his hand straight up. So many times it looks that way after the shot comes off, but he definitely held on and got him.
But Missouri still playing with just 6 fouls. Next one, obviously, will get the Sooners in the 1-and-1. Tigers have been in there since 10:42 remain for 5 minutes. The left-handed freshman is off the front of the rim, no good. His first try, he's 72% for the season. So it remains tied at 94 with 5:39 remaining. The next one is up and in. 15 for Peeler. Tigers get back defensively in a man-to-man. Irvin now assigned to Blaylock, and he drives around him and goes to the hoop. He got the bucket. Blaylock with 19 on a drive past Irvin out front. And the Sooners back in front. as the lead changes back and forth. Coward works against Blaylock, far side, pulls up to Peeler. He drives against Henry, leans, double clutches, shoots off the glass and scores. It's the 14th lead change in the game. Peeler with 17. Sooners almost lost it in the backcourt. Davis brings it up through the defense, over to Henry. He's got a 15-footer home, left side. Henry with 4 points, 98-97 Oklahoma. 5 minutes to go in the game. Oh, what a dandy this one has been. Across the nation, they got to be loving it. Taylor working against Peter Henry. Changes, gives to Coward. He shoots out front. It's off the front of the rim, no good. And rebounded by Greg Church. Back to Coward. He takes it all the way to the hoop, dumps it off to Irvin, and we got a foul, and it's going to be against Lee Coward. And Coward, referring to the cattle yards on that call with Jim Bain, gets called for his fourth personal with 4:43 to play. And if they call it an offensive foul, then no free throw. They did, but they didn't. Or didn't they? No. It was after he released it. Jim Bain walked past him and put his finger to his lip and said, "Shh, be quiet, don't say anything else." So the Sooners go into the 1-and-1 with 4:43 to play. And the ball released, and then the foul by Coward, puts Terrence Mullins at the free throw line for the first time. John McIntyre has made his first appearance, a junior out of Detroit, one-year letterman. Began his collegiate career at the University of Detroit. Set out a year, played last year sparingly. Didn't play in the last two meetings against Oklahoma. Had 5 in the first game here in Norman. Mullins is at the free throw line with 11 points and trying to give Oklahoma more than a 1-point lead, and does, as the first free throw is good. And that's Mullins' first attempt. He's got a dozen. It's 99-97. And Hartman Federal Savings and Loan, the accountant's down there in the office. The check is written. He's getting ready to sign it right here for a $100 donation to the University of Oklahoma basketball program. Don't write it yet. The free throw no good. Loose underneath, and Doug Smith down with it. So the accountant settles back to listen to the broadcast, and the ball's walked up with 99-97 Oklahoma. Taylor into the forecourt against Blaylock. Shoves Church underneath and gives to Sambodi. Sambodi back over to Peeler. Peeler driving against Blaylock. Lost the ball. And now Peeler took a swipe at Blaylock, but it was just in the intensity of the moment, and he reached back and shook hands with him. And the foul was called against Blaylock. And for Mookie, it is his second. So Peeler, who a moment ago split a pair of free throws, is back up there on the front side of the 1-and-1. He had only 2 points in Missouri's last game against Kansas State. He misses this free throw. The ball loose on the floor, and Davis down with the miss. Sooners have a 2-point lead, 99-97. The crowd is up and yelling. Here's Blaylock into the forecourt against Irvin. Right side to Mullins. Looks in. Back up to Henry. Around the rim to Blaylock. Doesn't send it in. On the dribble. Now spins. Skips loose. Looks underneath for King. Back to Mullins for 3. And it is short up front of the rim. Rebounded by King. Put back up. We got a foul. Back in 30 after a network timeout.
Wherever you are, trust the Texaco Star up ahead. It's there shining bright.
Up ahead, there's a Texaco Star Station with all the products and services you need. Powerful super unleaded gasoline, Haviland Superior grade motor oil, even a food mart, a car wash, and the friendly attitude you've come to trust at your Texaco station.
Up ahead, there's Texaco. Star of the American road. Texaco.
Foul was against William Davis, going for the miss of Mullins. Mullins is 0 for 5 from three-point range in the second half and 1 of 7 for the game. And Sambodi misses the opposite end, and the ball's put up and in by Smith in the air. It's tied at 99. 3:55 to play. Hang on, a seat squirmer deluxe. Blaylock, left side to Skeeter Henry. Flicks in for William Davis, back to Mullins. Around the rim to Blaylock. Smith in front of King. Now the pass by Blaylock, and stepping out to intercept it is Smith. Turnover for the Sooners. It's only their 8th of the game, and down for a layup try, and missing is Sambodi, and Davis with the rebound, right back to Blaylock. Here's Blaylock down to King. He loses the ball right back. Up with it is McIntyre. Almost travels. Throws it down court. And Smith can't hold on to it and loses it out of bounds as both teams ricochet back and forth. 3:22 to play. We're heading for a finish deluxe. And we'll be back in a moment. It is tied at 99.
In 4 years, we've moved 3 times and haven't even left the city. One thing's been easy every time, our insurance. We're with Farmers Insurance Group of companies. Of course, our family's grown and we've added the Jeep, a boat, but we've always gotten great service from our farmer's agent. She's someone I can really trust.
Being an agent with the Farmers Insurance Group of companies means so much more than marketing insurance. That's why America can depend on farmers.
In Muskogee, see Gary Patrick at 702 South 32nd. Call 683-0801.
Hi, folks. Jack Clark here, General Manager of Don Carlton Honda in Muskogee. Here's a few facts about the Honda 4-door Accord. 1983, Car and Driver 10 Best List. 1984, Car and Driver 10 Best List. 1985, 1986, and 1987 Car and Driver 10 Best List. 1988 Car and Driver 10 Best List. Folks, there's a pattern here somewhere. Starting as low as $12,998 at Don Carlton Honda in Muskogee.
Here on a college campus, the Sooners are trying to change it with 3:22 to play. And we've got more after this from Grape Nut.
Well, we're all set for another exciting season of Sooner basketball. Proudly sponsored for 1989 by the one and only Post Grape Nut cereal. And it's a real winner. You can't beat Post Grape Nuts, made from natural wheat and barley. It's got a delicious nutty taste and lots of crunch. It really scores with the fans. Time to make our move, team. Sooner basketball and Post Grape Nuts in a league of their own, naturally.
Sooners battling a red-hot Missouri team that's 61% from the field, 40 of 66, 64% in the second half. Oklahoma 45% has put up 20 more shots than Missouri. They got 1 less field goal. Sooners have 7 more three-pointers. Missouri's outscored Oklahoma 18-13 at the free throw line, tied at 99.
And to consider that Oklahoma's down by 15 to start this game, the Sooners have played a dandy one and coming back.
44-39 rebound, Missouri. Blaylock into the lane, has a pass knocked loose. After it is Stacey King, and he couldn't hold on to it, and it rolled out of bounds. And Oklahoma will stay with full court pressure after King. Off the ball, I'll tell you, the last 5 trips each way, 3 the Sooners' way, 2 Missouri. Neither team's been able to hold on to the basketball and get anything. Sambodi against Davis up court into the free throw lane. Bounces the pass back off to Peeler. Everybody gets matched up. Skeeter Henry trying to stay with the elusive freshman Peeler. Peeler pass left side out on the wing to Doug Smith. Doug Smith brings it back up. Under 3 minutes to play. Irvin with the basketball. Looking for Sambodi. Now up to Peeler. Left side to Doug Smith. King out on him. Smith dribbling the ball, right side, now goes to Irvin on a pass, up to Sambodi, checked by William Davis. Sambodi now, the shot clock down to 9, a loose ball, and King comes up with it. He's got Blaylock behind the defense. He goes up and is fouled by Sambodi. 4 fouls against Sambodi with 2.5 to play. Blaylock will be there to shoot his first free throws of the second half. Sooners are only 13 of 24 at the line. They've hurt themselves there. Missouri 18 of 26. Oklahoma still looking for that 100th point, and they got number 99 with 4:43 to play. They've not scored in 2 minutes. When Mullins got a bucket to give them a 2-point lead. And obviously, Missouri has only scored 2 since that time. Blaylock. Now the Heartland Federal Savings and Loan accountants back awake. And he's going to ride it. The shot's in, 20th point. 14th time the Sooners have been at 100 or better this year.
You'd hope when they get to that, though, it'd be a winning score, and we don't know about this one.
Nope. Second free throw miss. Rebounded by Davis. He puts it up. It wouldn't go. And he was called for the travel anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. 199. 2:27 to play in the game. The winner is in first place in the Big 8 Conference. Smith giving it back to Peeler, who brings it up out of the backcourt across the red center circle here at Lloyd Noble Center against Skeeter Henry. Right side pass to Coward. Coward on the dribble. Up to Smith, who's way out front. Parked to the free throw line is Sambodi. 2:10 to play. 25 seconds on the shot clock. Taylor now to Coward. Top of the circle. Blaylock out on him. Coward on the dribble. Leans in. He shoots. Shot no good. Tipped up by Smith. Tipped up again. Bounces off the rim. King with the rebound. Sooners have the ball and a 1-point lead with 1:50 to go as Smith missed a tip inside, and the Sooner crowd comes to their feet. All-time record, 11,734. Jones is back in. King into the lane to Davis. He got the ball underneath and rolls around the rim and goes in. Rolled all the way around the rim and drops in. 1:30 to go. Smith hurrying it up. Takes it against King to the hoop and scores on a drive at the opposite end to get it back to a 1-point Sooner lead. 102-101. 1:27 to play in the game. Blaylock working against Coward. Davis up at the top of the circle. Gives it back to Mookie Blaylock. Oh, what a big offensive trip this one is down. Stretch Jones with 4 fouls. Allowed inside to King. Triple teamed. He's fouled by Doug Smith from behind. And for Smith, I believe he's third. King will go to the line with 1:12 remaining to play. And on the front side of the 1-and-1. And the Sooners' leading scorer for the year is 5 of 8 at the line. 14 of 26, Oklahoma. At the free throw line, Missouri's taking a timeout. Back in 60 seconds, 1:12 to go. Oklahoma 102, Missouri 101.
Now is the time to consider buying your dream home with financing from Commercial Bank and Trust Company. Low cost, low interest, bond money is now available from the real estate department located on the 4th floor at Commercial Bank and Trust. Call Peggy, Pat, or Reba at 687-6321 today. Your new house is a real possibility during 1989. Commercial Bank and Trust Company, an equal housing opportunity lender, member FDIC.
With a new name comes a new commitment to Muskogee. The new name is Owens Brockway Glass, and they're excited about their future in Muskogee. They've served the Muskogee area for over 40 years, and now more than ever, they urge you to buy glass whenever possible. They're also renewing their efforts on glass recycling. You know about can recycling, but glass can also be recycled. Just bring it to the swap building at 514 Fond du Lac and make some money while helping clean up the landscape. Your hardworking friends and neighbors at Owens Brockway Glass remind you to buy glass as they continue to serve the Muskogee area.
If somehow you have missed it, 11,734, standing room only at Lloyd Noble Center, an all-time record in this building for a crowd to see a game, the old record 4 years ago on March 3rd of 1985 when 11,619 watched the Sooners win a nationally televised thriller against Mark Price and his Georgia Tech teammates at that time. And the Sooners again on national television Sunday afternoon, actually Sunday morning at 11:50 is the tip-off. Airtime on the Sooner Basketball Network, 11:20 for the Billy Tubbs Show. Stacey King will walk to the line where he's 5 of 8 for the day and 68% on the year. With 1:12 to play, Oklahoma leading 102-101. King with 27 points. At 40 here against the Tigers in that 120-10 win by Oklahoma last year. Crowd quiet. Stacey's free throw is up and in. Thought it might be a little long when it left, but it caught the heel of the rim and nestled safely in without any drama. 103-101. And again, the crowd quiets for King. It's on the way. It's no good, and the ball is off of Irvin's hands, out of bounds. As Peter Henry got his hands on it, then it went off of his hands and off of Irvin. And the Sooners have trip aces on the board. Nice hand to hold right now. 1:11 to play. And I think the Sooners have just called time. They have. Oklahoma wants to talk it over. We're going to take a 30-second network timeout for State Farm and be back with more.
Here's another reason why homeowners in Oklahoma feel better with State Farm. Homeowners who have been with State Farm over 3 years are getting a discount. So, if you've been with State Farm over 3 years, check your premium notice. If you don't have State Farm homeowners insurance, and you want to be with someone who's always looking for ways to help you save, call a State Farm agent now. And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
John Brooks along with David Garrett. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification as we head for the stretch one. How about the stretch run? I hope we won. Yeah. This is the Sooner Basketball Network.
You're tuned to your place for sports.
Yeah,
Regional Radio, Quick 97, KKWK, KLUE, Muskogee.
Got that recording fast? Actually, a second has gone off the clock. It was at 1:11, I thought. Now it's at 1:10. Tyrone Jones will have the basketball in front of the Oklahoma bench to inbound it. It's lobbed in to Mookie Blaylock. Blaylock with the basketball, left side to Davis, between the circles, right side to Henry. On the right side to Blaylock. Sooners can work 45 off if they choose. Jones over to Skeeter Henry, and from behind, Henry is fouled by Mike Sambodi. Now, why did they foul Henry? Well, he's only been to the line 23 times this year. He has connected on 15 for 65%. Sambodi is fouled out of the game with 59 seconds to play with 7 points. Last year, when the Sooners defeated the Tigers 120 to 101, the 120 points was the most ever scored by either team in the series. Here's Skeeter Henry. That's all past history right now. Henry, with 59 seconds to play, hits the free throw, nothing but silk. And the junior from Grand Prairie answers with a big, big free throw. Henry, Jones, Davis, King, and Blaylock trying to take the Sooners to their 8th consecutive 20-win season and go 20-3 and hand Missouri its 4th loss. Next one is up, and it skips out, no good. King with the rebound. He misses, gets it back, scores, and he's fouled. Merry Christmas. How about that? I almost said it. At Oklahoma State, the ball went that way for the Cowboys. Here, it just went that way for the Sooners. As the free throw popped out, King got it, put it up, it rolled out, and he got it back and scored, and was fouled by Doug Smith. With 55 seconds to play, King has 30 points and a chance to give the Sooners a 107-101 lead. This is their biggest right now. Now it's bigger. 31 points, 107-101. Tigers hustle it up. Peeler shoots for 3. Off to the left, no good. Rebounded by Church. He jumps it in, scores, and calls timeout. Timeout, Missouri. 46 seconds to play. Back in a moment. Oklahoma leads 107-103.
Looking for a new car you can get into without shelling out a lot of cash? Then you're looking for the 88 Daihatsu closeout deal at Murray's Nissan Daihatsu in Muskogee. Here's their limited time offer. Come in and pick out one of Murray's 88 Daihatsus, Japan's newest luxury small car. You'll obviously save money on the deal. In addition, there's no down payment, and Murray's will even pay for the tag and tax. That's a deal you can't beat, but it's for a limited time only on the 88 Daihatsu closeout at Murray's Nissan Daihatsu, 841 North Main in Muskogee.
Specialized job training is now available to you through Eastern Private Industry Council and Oklahoma State Tech in Okmulgee. If you're looking for a meaningful job for the future, specialized training in boat engine repair and vending machine repair is now available at no cost. For more information, call Oklahoma State Tech at 1-800-722-4471 toll-free and start working today for a better tomorrow.
It is a unanimous decision. All three of us, the same vote. Tyrone Jones and Stacey King share our Oklahoma County Line Barbecue Restaurant Player of the Game. And they've been as mighty good as that good tasting barbecue at the county line. Full court pressure, Blaylock double teamed by Doug Smith and Lee Coward for the inbounds. Blaylock chases loose to get the pass, almost threw it away. Jones saves it, and he is grabbed and fouled by Greg Church. By Church. And for Church, that is his 3rd foul. Got to hit him. Yeah, that's what it's going to be down the stretch here, is a trip to that line. But, oh, what a guy to have there. Stretch likes that pressure. This is his first time up for the day. He's 79.5%, the Sooners' leader at the line. And he likes to be there in this situation. He has said many times, and he hits the first one. With 42 seconds to play, his 25th point, 108-103.
He actually says pressure makes you fresher.
That's the line. I was hoping that you'd remember it and bring it to us. Sooners will move into first with a record of 7-1. Missouri will be 6-1 if Oklahoma hangs on and wins. Jones trying to make it possible right here, and he gets the second one to go. 26 points. 109-103. 42 seconds left. Ball bounced into Coward. Back to Peeler. Peeler brings it up. Left side over to Byron Irvin. Steps up. Shoots from the corner. Shot won't go. Blaylock with a rebound. Looks like the Sooners are going to finally win it after being down 16, not 15 in the first half. Davis across the timeline to Blaylock for the layup. He got it. Oklahoma's going to the W column, and they're going to first place in the Big 8. Here's Coward back at the opposite end for a three-pointer on the way. It won't fly. Stuffed by Smith and missed. Peeler up with it. He takes it to the hoop. Lost it. Davis with it. A lob to King. 9 seconds to go. He misses the layup. Fouled by Lee Coward. 111-103. The Sooners will win their 20th game of the season, but oh, what a struggle it was, but what a beauty. And a great, great effort by Missouri. I'll tell you, the Missouri-Oklahoma game, February 25th, will be another heavyweight battle of great, great proportion. Lee Coward has fouled out of the game with 7 seconds to play. And Stacey King will put some icing on. Gary Leonard returns to the lineup. 111-103. Sooners hit their free throws down the stretch, but the big play came when King got the free throw miss and put it back up and in. Stacey misses this one. That was after Skeeter Henry had hit a free throw on the front side of a bonus and then missed the second, and King got the big putback up and in and gave him a 106-101 lead. That was at 55-second mark, which seems like 3 days ago. Second free throw good by King, 32 points, 112-103, and Peeler will bring it up inside to Leonard. He stuffs it. Time will expire. Nope, Missouri got a timeout call. Missouri doesn't really want it now. There's 1 second to go. It's 112-105. And Missouri may not. Missouri called it, but they're not going to use it. So Leonard will have 18 points. Missouri called the timeout. Rich Daly is saying, look, there's 1 second to go, Rick. We don't want the timeout. Well, they're finished with it anyway. They're charged with one, but Oklahoma will get the ball. They're charged with one. Sooners inbounded. It's all over. 112-105. Oklahoma over Missouri. Back in 60 seconds after a network timeout.
It's time to take a shot. Ideal circumstance. For the left to the top. Here opportunities now. Get on the feet and dance. You really make it work. This must be you. You really make it work.
Don't let old man winter get you with worn, slick tires. Stop by and see your Oklahoma independent Uniroyal dealer. Let him show you his complete line of Uniroyal Tiger Paw radials for your car and his line of Uniroyal Laredos for your pickups, vans, and campers. You can always depend on your Uniroyal dealer to give you top quality tires and automotive service, not to mention